on the right note. Welcome, everybody. And first and foremost, thank you so much for joining us each and every day and night throughout the season. And as we look forward to 2017, a lot of good things we believe are going to occur. And with my partners, Jeff Houston and Ryan Spilborghs today, I'll begin with you, Huey. What will you take away the most from 2016?
I think it would be the strides that they've made in the starting pitching because of what they've been able to accomplish this year compared to last year. The quality starts really jump out to me because that's the most they've had since 2010. And you go back to that year, that was the year they won 83 ball games. Also last year, you only had one guy, De La Rosa, had 9 wins. This year, you have 3 guys that have double-digit wins. So I take a lot away from the starting pitching because we know this game begins and ends with how you do out on the hill.
And I don't think the starting rotation has ever been this gifted, especially with young pitchers. More on that as the afternoon develops. I want to turn to you, Spilly. What will you take away from 2016?
Pretty simple. It's going to come down to rookies. And Rockies rookies this year have made a bigger impact than we've ever seen for the Colorado Rockies. It's probably the best class of rookies ever. And it's interesting and disappointing at the same time because you look at what the team has been able to do. Trevor Story still leads all rookies with homers and RBIs. David Dahl, fantastic. Tyler Anderson, John Gray, one of the best pitchers, the 2 best pitchers we probably saw on this rotation. Tony Wolters out of nowhere. There was 12 Rocky rookies that made their debut, and pretty much every single one of them had some sort of effect on the team. That's why for me, when it is a little bit disappointing, you're looking at this team, defensively, they let themselves down. I think back end, when you look at opportunities to close out games, they didn't do it. So you have a window. You never know how big these windows are. They're in the midst of it, but you never know when they close.
That's why optimism abounds for 2017 as we close the books on 2016. One of those kids that Spilly was talking about, German Marquez, who'll have the baseball today. Come on back to Coors Field with us. So welcome back to Coors Field. The Rockies finishing at home for the first time since 2007. And they look to win game 162. They won on Friday night, fell 4-3 in extra innings last night. German Marquez is ready to go, and stepping in is Jonathan Villar. He's had a breakout season for the Brewers, hitting .284 with 19 home runs, 63 driven in, and 61 stolen bases. Marquez with strike one. This will be Marquez's third start. And this ball's lifted to fairly deep right field. Cargo's going to have to field it off the wall, and it'll be a leadoff double for Jonathan Villar. Here's the Southwest batting order this afternoon for Craig Counsell's club. Scooter Gennett will bat second. Chris Carter is in a tie for the home run lead in the National League with Nolan. They both have 41. Domingo Santana, Hernan Perez, 4 and 5. Orlando Arcia. Andrew Susac, the former Giant, he's behind the plate batting 7th. Jake Elmore gets a start in left field. And Tyler Cravey will be the first Brewer pitcher. He will not be the last. It's kind of a bullpen day for Milwaukee. Here's Gennett, and he takes strike one.
Looking forward to just watching Marquez one more time, because I know he got painted up a little bit in the San Francisco start. 2 runs early, but then ended up giving 6 total. But prior to that, he'd only had a 3.48 ERA. So just in that last start, it jumped it over 3 runs. But for him, each time he goes out, each pitch that he throws is just going to be an improvement on what he's going to have this offseason as he looks back. We saw some good curveballs, saw some really good changeups in that start against San Francisco. So it's all building blocks towards the future.
He's got a plus fastball, plus curveball. The changeup is average right now. I was talking to Steve Foster, the Rockies' terrific pitching coach, and he works in tandem with Darren Holmes, maybe more so than any, it's at least in Rockies history, than any pitching coach, bullpen coach. They're like co-pitching coaches, and they believe Marquez this offseason, going into spring training, probably needs to add either a cutter or a slider, and they love the makeup of this kid. I mean, he's 21 and he's in the big leagues, got great arm talent, and he's got great poise as well, Spilly.
Most important is having that poise, and if you are going to add an extra pitch like a cutter, that just tells you that he doesn't have the stuff yet to get left-handers out. So we'll pay attention throughout today if he's able to get inside.
Comes inside with a fastball there. It's 2-2.
I asked a couple Giants hitters the other day about Marquez, and they can pick up the smallest things. They said, well, you can tell a little bit when he's throwing off-speed pitch because he slows his body down. And that's something that you have to work on, because major league hitters pick up the smallest discrepancy in your mechanics.
Ooh, where's that?
Just a touch outside the Subaru strike zone, but it's game 162. Thought you might be getting that one today.
I thought the teams might leave one bat at home plate today.
3-2, and swung on and missed. That's a big strikeout early in a ball game with a runner at second. Gennett fails to move the runner along, 1 out, and it'll bring up big Chris Carter.
Just a little running 2-seam fastball on the Subaru Supermo, blew it by Gennett. He was tardy on that swing.
Keep talking about easy heat. You guys, from a hitter's perspective, what's easy heat mean?
Easy cheese. It's when it looks like he's not putting a lot of effort and the ball gets right on top of you. You look up on the scoreboard and it says 97.
Inside move, but VR was not fooled. Well, Chris Carter hit a towering home run in the 10th inning yesterday, and that provided the difference as the Rockies were down 3-0 in the 8th, got 2 in the 8th, 1 in the 9th to send it to extra innings. And then Carter hit the towering home run on a slider from Adam Ottavino. 4-3 win for Milwaukee yesterday. That pitch is fouled back. 94 on that fastball. Speaking of 97, in his last outing, we saw Marquez go to Belt at 97. It's Brandon Belt.
This was an 82-mile-an-hour slider last night that Carter took out at the top of the 10th inning to tie Nolan with his 41st. 94 ribbies on the season for Chris.
And a check swing foul ball.
Carter ranks as one of only 3 players in Major League history with over 100 home runs and a career average of 220 or less.
Rob Deere. He's
Who
always
used to
the
play-
first guy.
yeah.
Rob Deere.
And he played for the Brewers,
Yeah.
and then after that, he was a hitting coach.
You know, which is kind of fun to a certain degree.
right.
Here's what not to do. But here, if you want to hit the ball a long
I got
way,
that- I got that
covered. Yeah. They've had a history. Think about this. They've had a history of big swing guys like low average, high homer. Gorman Thomas, Rob Deere, Chris Carter now. 0-2. Who else on that list?
Dave Duncan
Really?
hit 214 with 109 home runs.
Became a pitching coach. Said, you know what?
He's
I know
the-
more about what I'm not doing well at the plate, so I'm gonna go to the other side.
Yeah, he was a catcher in his career.
It's Tony La Russa's guy. 1-2, and this ball lined to Cargo in deep right, and he reaches up, takes the grab. VR was thinking about tagging. Cargo throws it in about 4 miles right to the cutoff man, Adames. Spilly, you know, Huey and I rail all the time against DRS and ultimate zone rating, UZR. We just don't think the metrics, they've gotten better. But for us, Cargo is an he's a Gold Glove guy. He still remains a above average outfielder. And I think it was on display there.
Well, he had a bad read to begin with. The ball was hit very hard off the bat of Carter.
That's a fair ball, and Nolan does his thing. Good job by Marquez after the leadoff double. Domingo Santana retired. No scores. We are rolling. Game 162. Home runs, 80 driven in what has been a splendid year for Blackman, the product of Georgia Tech, and he'll stride to the plate and get ready to face Tyler Cravey. Here's the Southwest batting order this afternoon for Walt Weiss. David Dahl will bat in that 2 spot. Then Nolan, Cargo, Tom Murphy had a big hit off the bench yesterday. Jordan Patterson 3 for 5. First multi-hit game of his young career. Pat Valleca's at second. Pat's been swinging it. Christian Adames at short, and Herman Marquez. Here we go. Cravey's first pitch is down low. 27-year-old. 17th round pick in 2009.
He pitched on Friday night, 2 innings of relief. Just threw 20 pitches, had a couple strikeouts, but in his career, 33 games, 8 starts. He's 0-9 with the 443. Not a bad fastball, 91, but he's just really a kind of a unique delivery where it's real funky coming up over the top and then throws a lot of body at you, and then here comes the arm.
Seems to hide the ball pretty well, and he'll do that. He'll go quick sometimes.
We're starting
2-1.
See that more and more. I think, you know, you look at the success
Johnny Cueto.
Johnny Cueto's had, and other guys are emulating that.
Chris Russin for the Rockies does it well. This ball lifted high and deep right field. It's got too much of a turn on it. That was going to be number 29. Straighten that thing out, right?
Wow.
And the guy who used to do it, and I don't think many others did it, was LaTroy Hawkins.
Matt Herges was another teammate of mine that would do a slide step changeup. He would change up his mechanics just like that.
3-2.
That's really hard to do. Just speed up your delivery to throw a changeup.
Just have to make sure you get your arm back in time to get in that slot so you can finish out on top. Oh, man.
High fly ball, deep right field. Take a good look. You won't see it for long. There is number 29.
I can count on one hand the number of times that I've seen a guy hit a home run foul and then come back and hit a home run fair in the same at bat.
Charlie twice.
Yeah, Charlie twice. I saw it on TV. Mark Trumbo did it a couple nights ago for Baltimore. But Charlie, have a year to remember.
What an unbelievable season for Blackmon.
Wow. And a .321 average right now to boot.
David Dahl on 2 hops to Chris Carter, 1 out. Let me brag on Charlie for a moment here. He's hit .326 at home. He's hit .313 on the road. 17 of his home runs have come out on the road. Listen to this, folks. Blackmon's hitting .331 against lefties. 6th best mark in the National League, but the best mark of any left-handed hitter left on left. What hasn't he done?
Hit 30 homers. I mean, that's what we're going to wait for. And Walt mentioned before today's game, there's several guys with a couple of numbers that he'd like them to get to. Cargo at 299. Obviously, DJ with the batting title.
Well, here's the deal. If Cargo swats one in the gap right here, gets a 4-foot swinging bunt for a hit, he's coming out.
But with Charlie Blackmon with that home run and his batting average now over .320, he'll get at least another at bat to try to get to 30.
Don't you know he'll be swinging from the heels to try to reach that.
Charlie's the one guy among the starters that may play the whole game. I think you're going to see a curtain call for Nolan. Hopefully Cargo, as he walks to the plate here after the walk to Arenado, gets his base hit. Walt is so conscious of taking care of his guys, his players, and he wants the fans in attendance today, and it's a nice Sunday crowd for game 162, to be able to honor those guys. So in a perfect world, you know, in the middle innings, Cargo gets a base hit, he can pull him off the field for a pinch runner. Same thing with Nolan, that type of deal.
When Walt's been in uniform for so long, it's happened to him where he's been able to do that. He's had managers he's played for that have done that. So he knows what it's like for the players in game 162 to reach a milestone, but let the fans recognize it.
Outside on Cargo, who had a productive day yesterday, 2 for 5, and drove in his 100th run. And I think, you know, if you had to choose 100 ribbies versus 300 batting average, you'd like both, but the 100 ribbies means a lot.
He told me after the game yesterday, he spent a little time with them by his locker, that he really wanted 100. It was getting frustrating for him. He was trying hard not to think about it, but he couldn't help it.
In 2010, he had 117 ribbies. So he knows what that number means.
2 years ago, he had 97, and he was teasing. He was like, come on, Stu Cole, you telling me you couldn't have waved 3 extra guys home?
That sounds like Cargo, right? 2-1, a run in, 1 out. This ball's hit well to right field, and and it's going to be off the middle of the bat, unfortunately. Initially the sound looked like it was arc toward the wall, but it was not hit as well as I first thought. Domingo Santana makes the catch, 2 outs. Got in on him just a little bit as Tom Murphy comes up. Fans, you know the deal. When the Rockies score 7 or more, and today's the final opportunity, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day between 4 and 6 to get your Rockies taco special. Murphy takes a strike. How big was Murphy's pinch hit double in the 9th inning to tie the ball game yesterday?
It was huge. He's proved that he's been a very capable pinch hitter this season, and his approach has improved over the course of the season as we saw it. I mean, you hear about him in minor leagues in July, how he just started catching on fire. So I would assume for Murphy, he probably does not want this season to end just based on how he probably felt like his season started in July.
Yeah, he still has a couple months to go because he wants to put the first 2 months of the season out of the memory.
Whoa. Murphy goes down first. Where did that get him?
Middle of the back.
It's hard to move when the ball's coming behind you. You don't know which way to go. You're trained to go, turn. There's a changeup on the Subaru Supermo that caught more just the jersey than it did the back.
Cravey has an interesting background. Drafted in the 17th round out of Napa Valley Community College. Interesting part, his freshman year at college, at community college, he never played baseball. He was simply a student.
I saw he went to Napa Valley, and so
most guys come out as sommelier.
Sommelier, and there's a lot of places we can go with that, but he's an expert on
the fine
California Reds.
I was just up there on our off day on Monday, and I missed
of course you were.
the community college.
You went right to the vineyard.
Yes, I did.
Jordan Patterson with 2 on, and a hard ground ball, but right to the shortstop Barcia. In the inning, Charlie Blackmon, for the 22nd time in his career, has hit a leadoff home run. It was his 29th of the year, and the Rockies have a 1-0 lead. Colorado Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by the 2016 Toyota Tundra at your hometown Toyota stores. By Coors Banquet Beer, brewed in Golden, Colorado since 1873. And by Southwest Airlines, yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Charlie Blackmon just became the 5th player in Major League history to have 10 leadoff home runs in 1 year. And that nicks Hernan Perez, so he'll go down to first as we embark on the top of the second inning. With Jeff Houston and Ryan Spilborghs, I'm Drew Goodman. His fastball just ran a little bit too far inside.
Well, and much like what happened with Murph on the Subaru Supermo, this one catches the jersey, and it wasn't intentional. It wasn't because you hit our guy, we're hitting your guy. No, it was just 2 pitches that got away. One was a changeup and another one from a 21-year-old.
Arcia did not go. Arcia was 1 for his last 12, 164 over his last 19. He's a 300 hitter in the minor leagues. They believe he's going to hit at this level, but his glove is ahead of his bat right now.
I watched him for the last 2 days on the side, and to me, his swing's late.
Gets set up late.
It's the leg kick has him off balance, not on time often enough. And when you look at guys throughout, I mean, think of Charlie Blackmon, think of DJ, think of Nolan, how often they're on time with their leg kick and with their timing. That's what separates a guy that hits 200 from 300.
I also think with his leg kick too, and you had a good vantage point down there by the end of the camera. Well, it looks like he has a leg kick, but then as he's going forward, he leans into that leg kick instead of trying to stay back on the backside. Just kind of falls into a swing.
And that was a great example of what you guys are talking about. He was tardy there on a 2-0 pitch.
And that was actually probably his best swing that I've seen him take, and he's still late. Sometimes players don't realize how off time they are.
Wow. I thought it was a strike in the Subaru strike zone, and it was, but wasn't called one by Scott Berry, the home plate umpire.
Center field, Charlie has to go back now, and he can't see it. He just lost that in the sun. And it'll go as a double, and a run batted in for Arcia. Billy, you played out there at this time of day.
Well, off the bat, Charlie didn't get a good read. You see, he goes the wrong way. Then he realizes he has to spin back the other way and loses it in the sun. Off the bat, it didn't sound right. It didn't sound like Arcia hit it well enough. And when you have the sun right directly in front of you with the baseball, when you're battling the sun, you need to be able to create an angle, get to the side of it. That's the only disadvantage really a center fielder has when the sun's directly in front of him.
The run in, it's tied at 1. Andrew Susak's at the plate.
How we were mentioning, of course, you know, you talk about it, how a guy's constantly late. Arcia was late. Pitch he hit was a 91-mile-an-hour cutter.
Yeah. Didn't hit it very well either.
No.
With that velocity, you should, especially on a 3-1 count. You're thinking of getting that barrel out to the front of the zone. Susak, a big, strong guy that they got from the Giants. For him backing up Buster Posey for a few years.
He took Buster Posey's swing.
Watch him go to third. Oh.
Yep. Delay. Arcia takes third.
You know what? That's on Tom Murphy.
Yep.
Because just watch what he does. So he's getting the secondary. Murph just kind of lollygags the ball back to the pitcher. And Arcia had been reading that. He saw he was just dropping down to his knees and just, instead of firing the ball back there, just casually tossed it. Give Arcia some credit for understanding that and looking at it and watching it for a couple pitches. Arcia 8 for 8 in stolen bases.
Now a ground ball anywhere in the infield gets a run across. So far, a pretty sloppy inning for the Rockies.
It's a helpless feeling for an outfielder when the ball gets lost in the sun. Good pitch by Marquez. He strikes out Susac. And that'll bring up Jake Elmore with one guy.
Well, we've seen some hard breaking pitches, and this was a hard curveball in Subaru Supermo that drops down, and Susac tried to get down to it by dropping his right knee, going a little Adrian Beltre to reach it. Difference now too with the one out, the strikeout, you can play the infield in with the 8th place hitter up, the pitcher on deck.
This is Jake Elmore's 7th team since he's been in the big leagues. 34th rounder out of Arizona State. I'm sure he has a little bit of history with Murphy on the bench. The Brewers bench coach, Pat Murphy, former Arizona State.
To short, and Adames, because of the big bounce, thought about it and said, you know what, I don't think I have a play. And he went to first. So it's an RBI ground out for Elmore. He has his 4th RBI. Milwaukee moves in front 2-1.
And it was a smart play from Christian with the stolen base by Arcia. He goes in, gets a good jump. It's just unfortunate for Marquez because he's given up 2 runs this inning, and he could easily not given up any.
Well, I mean, you're talking about a fly ball that ordinarily is caught.
Well, and also talking about just the hit by pitch. The first guy that he faced where it just hit the jersey.
Tyler Cravey has a home run this year. Not with that swing. 1-2. For that one. So a strikeout. 3rd of the ball game for Marquez. Couple runs in the inning. Middle of 2, 2-1 Brewers.
It is the final game of the season, and we want to thank our crew. We have a lot of the guys that do utility and audio back here. Danny Weaver at the front, 18 years, right, Danny? He's one of the veterans. Luke Rosenmeyer. Meyer, I know I'd get that wrong. Johnny Mickety Audio. Check out the Brighton Project on Facebook. John, 18-plus years, right? Scott Oberto's in the back. We got Mikey Rotolo here, fresh back from Iceland. Russell Cunningham, hardest working man in show business. We got Kyle Houston in the back, working today, not just interning. Joe Healy is here. Also, Cooch, Laura Kuchikowski, and my guy Alex Malinkoff. We have a lot in common. Stature, age, and we're both Kid Cudi fans, right?
That's true.
Yeah, so just wanted to give you guys a shout out and thank you for the Mark Stout cards that I didn't sign a single one of them this year. So they decided they would do that for me today. There you go.
Stout, why not?
No one asked me to sign any cards, Drew. I don't know.
Well, you should
I
have
don't
signed
get that.
all of
You should have
those,
signed
Mark,
them all.
and
So-
then they could have thrown them and handed them out.
Right.
Yeah, no, they found it funny that they could make it rain Mark Stout cards.
You know what? We do this every year.
Yeah.
And we want to point out we honestly have the best crew in the business, and
We do.
And one of the reasons, and this is not just being gratuitous, one of the reasons I've always believed this, I've been fortunate enough to be here for 30 years, is that it's such a beautiful place to live, as we all know. It's why we choose to live here. And I think from a technical standpoint, so many camera folks and audio folks and video folks, they're saying, okay, we travel a lot, and we're gonna pick a place to live. And so they live in Denver, and therefore so many of our crew are at Rio for the Olympics, working the NFL, working national packages, but also working here locally with the Rockies and many, with the Nuggets and Avalanche. And we have the best folks in the business. We're going to mention some more names throughout. There's Crash. Crash, you're better behind the camera. We all understand that. Crash and Donnie Mills, two guys, when you shoot them, are going to sneak out around their camera and grin ear to ear. And then upstairs, we have Sammy Herniason, one of the best in the business. The only nice thing I'm going to say about Sam today, if you shoot him, he will hide. And he's made a career at doing that. We think it's a witness protection program.
No, we call Sammy the snow leopard.
The snow leopard, right?
Sammy, there you are. Come on.
It's actually good luck if you see the snow leopard.
Yeah.
Doug Marino. He's not shy of the camera.
No, Doug's not shy. Near the corner and foul off the bat of Christian Adames. There's Stevie B. Oh, now he's going to hide behind the camera.
Come on, Stevie.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Stevie Brown in his 63rd year. He's almost
Give
been
me my
in the
fist
business
pump.
as long as Vin. You know you've been in the business a long time when your kids are going to work with you.
BP out in our center field camera.
Ball four.
Got Colt with him a lot of times.
Colt's carrying him figuratively
well,
and literally. One out, one on. Herman Marquez.
There's BP.
Bryant.
But you're right. We do have a great crew here. Guys that are really great at what they do.
Thumper's son's working on the crew now also.
Wow.
How many? Alex, how many sons or daughters of? I wonder how Mike Fox has been our longtime producer director. Mike's now just primarily directing. I'm asking Foxy on the air. I wonder how many kids are now involved in our broadcast. There's Alex.
You're on.
Alex
You're on
had
camera.
Alex had a featured moment a little while ago. I think it may be up to 5. And now we got Huey's oldest son involved, Kyle.
Right.
We're not sure what he's doing
Not
right
sure
now. He's
either.
got the greatest internship in the history of television. Dude's making more money than anybody. And
Still living in my
It's
basement.
Billy. It's air quotes here. It's an internship, right? Guy's eating at Morton's every night. Marquez lays down a bunt. 2 outs. And Charlie will have an opportunity to tie up the baseball game or maybe put the Rockies ahead. He hit a home run his 29th the first time up. That's an internship, right?
I'll tell you what, you know, when we start going over the guys' names, because Huey and I, we're former baseball players. We know you by your last name or by the number on your back. So when we start hearing like Brian Peters, I was like, who's that? Oh, BP.
Yeah,
you know,
nicknames.
everything's a nickname for us. But I think Huey and I and Drew, we all speak for the group. I mean, we appreciate what everybody has been able to do to make us look decent on camera and sound pretty decent too, because they put us on mute a lot of the times.
Which takes a lot of work. Takes a lot of work.
So much that goes on behind the scenes that I know you didn't realize, Billy. I didn't realize when I got into this business. All the hard work, people down in the truck, stats, Dougie, the camera people, all of those guys are doing so much before we even get here.
You know, a lot of folks naturally. This ball is ripped to right center field. Extra bases. Charlie on his way to second, coming home with the tying run is Adames. Have a game 162, Charlie Blackmon, which is so fitting because we have said this throughout the year, but we've talked about it on the weekend. And Spill, you first brought it up. I mentioned it with Huey yesterday. Charlie's not about packing boxes on Friday in game 160. It's like, I'm signed up to hopefully play beyond 162. I'll pack the box at the end of 162. He's playing like it today.
And maybe in that box after the game, he's going to have a cycle in there because he's halfway to it right now with the home run and the double and a couple RBIs.
I love it.
82 runs batted in now for Charlie. David Dahl at the plate. Well, to finish the thought real quick, people always want to, you know, they see the, you know, the idiots in the box, right? So they want to come up to the booth. And we always tell people, if you really want to go somewhere that's fascinating and television, go to the truck. Because, I mean, they're juggling so many things down there, and it's really amazing what they do. Rockies, Charlie Blackmon has tied it up 2-2. To be, and Brian Peters, and I've known Brian for 30 years, and you know, he used to be diligent about getting his workouts in. Obviously, he's slacking off. Should mix in a trip to the gym once in a while there, BP. The crew actually voted Brian because today's teardown day for the season. They got to pack a lot of stuff up in addition to our truck, but a lot of stuff that gets put in storage. This ball's bounced to third, and the crew all voted. Brian, since you haven't been working out, that maybe you should carry all the stuff.
Those heavy cameras,
all the camera cases, you're on it. One of the things that we're going to vote on up here in the booth is for all the awards, National and American League, Here's the top 5 candidates for Rookie of the Year. Trevor Story, of course, even though he missed the last couple of months, still leads in home runs and ribbies. Aledmys Diaz, Corey Seager, great year for shortstop. Steven Matz, who's been shut down, the lefty for the Mets, and Kenta Maeda, who comes from Japan and has had a huge impact on that team that resides at Dodger Stadium. Huey, what do you got?
Well, it's unfortunate because you look at the numbers for Trevor as he still leads in home runs, tied with RBIs now that he's not there and hasn't played for a couple months. So I'm going to have to go with Corey Seager and what he's done and how he's helped the Dodgers this year.
I think you're 100% right. As good as Trevor Story's year has been, if it's cut short in July, just like for any guys on the opposite side, if you show up in July and have a great 2 months, you're not going to win Rookie of the Year. Corey Seager deserves it. Been hitting third in a lineup that won the division with the Dodgers. He's playing a premium position at shortstop.
At this point, it's really hard to argue with Corey Seager. What would have been really interesting is if Trevor had finished the year, because if Trevor finishes the year, look where Seager is. Seager's a marvelous talent. This is not to disparage Corey Seager, but I believe we'd be sitting here right now talking about Trevor Story either embarking on perhaps hitting 40 home runs or already having surpassed 40 home runs, which is ridiculous territory for any player, especially a kid.
And he just started the year off in such a way to garner that attention, and then never shied away from the accolades, but never acted like he was better than anything.
How about that bounce back inning for Marquez? 2 ground balls, and he catches Chris Carter looking. 2-2 as we go to the bottom of the third. Big guns coming up. T-Mobile, greater coverage of baseball. Let's take a look. Rockies leaders in home runs. Nolan tied with Chris Carter. Nolan again leading all of baseball with 133 ribbies. Matt Kemp is next as 108. Started the year in San Diego, finishing in Atlanta, and it looks like DJ's going to win the batting title. Murphy again is not in the lineup for Washington. DJ got his bats ready yesterday. You know the way he's wired. He has the bats ready today just in case needs to take an AB. And look at this. The Giants, if they win, they're in, and they're up early on the Dodgers 4-0. How about that performance yesterday? They were going against, hold on a sec, Nolan hits the ball a deep right and making the catch on the warning track is Domingo Santana. They had Ty Brock going against Clayton Kershaw. Brock goes out an emergency start and blocked and throws 8 shutout innings.
And he threw out 2 hits against Clayton.
2 for 3 against Clayton.
Yeah.
and they beat Kershaw, who gave up only 1 earned run, but Kershaw loses, and now the Giants kind of righted the ship here on the final weekend, and they're up 4-0. If they win, it does not matter what St. Louis does.
No, and yesterday the San Francisco Giants, they were calling him Cy Block.
Cy Block.
Isn't that great?
Yeah. His mom and dad were out there to watch the game too at AT&T Park.
Cargo takes a strike.
Well, Cargo, we were talking about getting to 300. He's dropped down to 298. He's got to go 2 for 3.
Yeah, he needs to put two
couple
hits in a row here.
Because if he doesn't, he's going to end up at 299.48. So it's not going to round up.
No swing.
Should be a little bit familiar with the former teammate Rob Scahill. Just came in the game.
Giants just added on another run. It's 5-0. Trying to take all the drama out of it. And all the games are happening at the same time. I love that Major League Baseball's doing this. So it's not like an East Coast game's going to end, 2 hours in front of a West Coast game. Everything started basically at 3 Eastern. Cargo up the middle. There's one. He found an empty spot. So now he's at 299.48. He needed to be 5-1, anything above 5, and his day would have been done.
Just a running fastball on the Subaru Supermo, clips the grass, but hit it past that shift. Ever so close for Cargo. You know, next time he goes up, if he sees that shift again, I think he might try to lay down a bunt. To get to that 300s, Billy.
It is so hard playing these type of games at the end of the year because some of the stuff, last game, it can look selfish.
To me, that's not selfish.
It's not. I get it, but the perception's always, I totally get it.
Yeah.
Listen,
Let me
but
ask
if you weren't willing to do it earlier in the year when they were shifted over, why are you doing it at the
But he tried it. He
would do it. Let me ask you though, honestly, after today, nobody cares, and who's going to remember? All you're going to do is look at the back of his baseball card and say, "Oh man, he hit 300 again."
I've told you guys this story before. Game 163, I was at 301. 162 games, I had a 301 batting average. I'm a 300 hitter in the major leagues. I go 0 for 3 off Jake Peavy. The team's celebrating. Matt Holliday's chin is left at the dirt, and I'm sulking in the corner because I finished my season up at 299.
Oh.
And you know I'm kidding about sulking.
No, I know you are.
I wasn't in the corner, I was in the bathroom.
Out of sight of everybody.
Spilly didn't celebrate. Rocky's going to the postseason.
And every time I swore, I said, I hit 299, that's 300, we round up. And they're like, what's the back of your baseball card say?
That says 299 for Cargo.
Sorry you didn't hit 300 in the big leagues.
That's why I wouldn't be scared to bunt at all. Get that next knock.
Murphy pops this up. Scooter Gennett battling the sun. I don't know if he sees it. He does now. That's the second out. It'll bring up Jordan Patterson in this 2-2 ball game. Folks, join in on the conversation. Today's your last chance till April 4th. That's when the Rockies will open against these Milwaukee Brewers at Miller Park. So send us your questions. Any final statements on 2016? Use Twitter or Instagram and include the hashtag Toyota Talk. Big thanks to our friends at Toyota. They've been with us for a long time, and we look forward to many years down the road with their partnership. Here's Patterson. Hit by, grounded to short his first time up.
Patterson with his first major league start last night and had 3 knocks. And he's talking about his last at bat, that he just missed it.
This is going to be a base hit through the left side. Good for Jordan Patterson, taking advantage of his opportunity here. Final weekend of the season.
Well, and the hard thing, too, for a youngster who comes up, that Jordan didn't get many starts. In fact, as you mentioned, last night was his first one. So it is hard to get into any sort of rhythm offensively. You're in it down in the minor leagues, you get called up, and then it's just BP after BP. But he goes out there now and is throwing out a bunch of hits in his last two games.
He's also smiling ear to ear, truth be told, because South Alabama went into San Diego and upset nationally ranked San Diego State, ended up kind of blowing them out.
He had a great day. Tyler Anderson, the opposite end of the spectrum. Oregon, his football team blown out. Tyler missed his start. So if one guy have a great day, even though the team lost last night, it was a good day for him and his school.
UCLA won yesterday, so Pat Valleca's happy, right?
Well, Valleca is a little bit upset. Last night faced Rob Scahill and hit a ball right off Scahill and didn't get a hit.
Right. It's all 1-6-3.
Going back to Patterson, so he told me he just missed the ball last night. He flew out to right field to end the game. And I laughed because he broke his bat.
Did he hit it off the end?
Yeah, he was like, I just missed. I was like, you broke your bat. You don't just miss it and you blow your bat up.
Yeah, if I had done that, I'd gone to the second baseman.
Scahill ahead 1-2 on Pat Valleca. How'd the Gauchos do yesterday on the gridiron there, Billy?
We have not lost in 27 years.
Is that what it is? And counting?
So disappointing.
Do you remember as a kid when they actually played football?
No, I don't. No.
Maybe that's why they terminated the program.
If I would have shown up, yeah. Santa Barbara High School, Randall Cunningham went to school there. Football player, great Philadelphia Eagle. So it's kind of a football town.
Kinda?
See Randall Cunningham.
That was three decades ago.
It's a surfer dude town.
I had bragging rights over Jenny today, though. That was fun.
Congrats to Wyoming. They had a big win over Colorado State, took the bronze boot back.
Next week, going up to Laramie to watch the Air Force game.
Misses. I'm excited about that. We'll have that broadcast on Root Sports. That's a big Mountain West tilt. Air Force, huge win, 28-14 over Navy. We always know how good Navy is.
Navy's a good team.
Navy's a really good team, but Troy Calhoun has a heck of a club again this year, and they're unbeaten, and Wyoming's turned a corner under Coach Bowl. That's going to be a great matchup. We look forward to bringing that to you next weekend. 2-2 on Valleca, 2 on. And Rob Scahill wins the battle. Rockies had a couple of hits. They leave 2 on. Cargo's at 299.
So we are saying hey to the crew. This is Crash, Craig Vanden Heuvel. I said that right, Crash?
Close enough.
Okay. You know, I spent a lot of time with Ringo, who's on that camera, John Allmering, Jim Hucks when he's here, and also Chaz, Charlie Felix. Get back to your work. But I actually spend a lot of time with you, Crash, because you're down in the clubhouse, which is kind of unique to the camera guys. It's kind of a different thing that you do.
Yeah, a little bit.
So you're down there, you get the Walt Weiss interview, and then we go into the clubhouse, and we scramble with the camera and the cords.
Drop some cables around the players'
But
feet.
it's kind of neat. You get to do that kind of stuff in the clubhouse and just see that aspect of the game.
It is neat. Yep.
How many years, bud?
I started in 2000, Fox Sports Net.
You guys can do that. Math.
Hey, Mark, why don't you have Craig tell everybody why we call him Crash and flash back to 2000?
Yeah, it's that time of year to divulge stories. So Crash, we got to get the Crash story. Why Crash? Why the nickname? Why the moniker?
I wrecked a couple news vans. It was my first week on the job. Yep.
Stuck, obviously.
Yeah, we had just picked them up at the dealership. So yeah, we drove it back to the dealership to get it fixed. And I was sitting on the curb wondering if my old job in the Springs was still there.
Well, you're still here, Crash.
Yeah,
so.
I thought I'd be in trouble, and they just gave me a nickname. So it's good.
Crash, that's how talented you
That's
were
talent,
and are.
right? That's it. Drew saying.
I reckon things.
Yeah.
You also
Not too many guys can ruin a couple of vehicles in his first week on the job and stick around for a second week.
Good point, Drew. You're here, and you got this really cool perspective out here in left field. I've seen you cover fly balls. There was one, Spilly. You remember the game where you were like, "Oh, we're going to see that really cool shot." That was your shot.
It landed right here in the camera well.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
so,
it's nice. It's nice.
Great
good
work.
crew. Very good crew to work with.
Great work this year.
Yeah, thank you. Right back at you.
Guys.
Thanks, buddy.
All right. Congrats also to Crash. Last week he got his license back.
Got it back.
He's in good standing with the Motor Vehicle Bureau again.
There you go, another nickname. I didn't know it was Craig. I just knew it was Crash.
Exactly.
5 strikeouts for Marquez. That's a good look at fastball. 1-2 on Hernan Perez.
Right down the left field line, and that's Crash's vantage point. I like a little Vanna White there he did with his hand.
I think, what do we have, Mike? What do we have? 18 cameras strung for a typical 18 cameras. That includes robo cameras. That's where John Wood is. And John's really good at video games. Billy, you're good at video games, right?
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Once you have children and you're married, if you're sitting on the couch playing video games, I mean,
That's not good.
no.
Bad form.
Not good for so many different reasons.
There's another robo camera. This is mishit to second. 2 outs.
If you have ever dreamed of becoming a Colorado Rocky, sign up for Fantasy Camp now. Taking place at Salt River Field in Talking Stick, January 31st through February 4th, 2017. Visit Rockies.com/fantasy camp for details.
I'm not laughing at that. Fantasy Camp's great.
Lou.
We love bringing out the Lou video. That could have really turned ugly. Thankfully, cooler heads prevailed. Why don't you read that little note that Dougie passed you?
Woody is married and has kids.
And he's great at
Video games.
video. Yeah.
You need to put the video games away, Woody. It's time to grow up. Take it from experience.
You know Woody. Woody will perennially be 12 years old. Beautiful thing is we can't really shoot Woody because we hide him in a room. It's a strike on Arcia. 2-2.
Rear back and throw the good old number 1. Arcia hasn't shown me he can handle Marquez's fastball.
And anything middle away, it's going to be a lazy fly ball, if anything.
Hey, PJ, thanks for that shout out. We appreciate that. Here's the 3-2. This ball's in the air to Cargo in right center. Can he get there? Not quite. Arcia is galloping towards third. He'll have a triple.
Just not going to talk about Arcia's swing anymore.
Nice job, Spilly.
Trying to prove you wrong. This third triple of the year for Arcia. Cargo was late with the dive. I think that ball went a little bit further than what he anticipated, just out of the reach on the Subaru Supermo. You can see some of the tools why they have this guy rated so high. A few changes here, a couple tweaks, I should say. And he's got the glove, he's got some speed.
He's got the arm.
True.
Susac fouls it off, and they're also in a place at that spot on the field, and as an organization at the big league level, bring him up and let him learn his lessons now. They realize that they're in a transition phase. 0-1 on Susac. 2-strike count.
They got Susac with a big curveball last time. They just elevated the fastball. So you got two options. Go back inside if you want. That's what they did.
After him with a heater at 96. There's that easy cheese you like to talk about. 6 strikeouts for Marquez. We're in a 2-2 ball game going to the bottom of the 4th. Off your online order at Papa John's. Use the promo code ROCKSWIN at papajohns.com. There's Roger. Roger's on camera 7 when Sammy can't go.
When Sam's in Rio doing the Olympics.
Sunning himself on the beaches of Rio. Roger comes up here and runs camera 2. Christian Adames, Herman Marquez, and Charlie Blackmon. And a ground ball to Chris Carter. Well, Chris has had a big year with the home runs, and part of his game is he does strike out. He struck out over 200 times, and as a team, with that last strikeout Marquez had of Andrew Susac, they have broken the all-time strikeout record by a club in Major League history. Actually, it happened on the previous strikeout when Domingo Santana went down. They have struck out more than any team in Major League history.
Well, and for Chris Carter, he has 206 strikeouts. That's most in the National League. It's the most in Brewers history. Jose Hernandez, remember Jose?
Yep.
Yeah, back in 2002, he had 188.
They tried to sit him out at first.
So he wouldn't reach the 200 mark.
And they said, you know what, let's just go for it.
Quite honestly, it's a Milwaukee won't have that record very long.
No.
Because everybody on that list, top 5 or 6, it's happened in the last couple of years. The game's changed. It's a big swing game now.
It's going to be broken next year by another team. The Brewers might break it themselves.
Marquez can throw out a hit. It would be his first as a big leaguer. Many folks we want to thank. We're sprinkling them in throughout the ball game. A regular camera operator, Stevie Brown. We showed you Stevie a little while ago. Chris Seiler. 2 outs. Crash, Roger, we showed you. Bo McWilliams. Bo's been down there sitting next to Spilly often.
I love Bo.
Or Mark in that first base camera well. There's Bo.
Bo, you're the best.
Don't play tennis against Bo.
No, I used to play tennis with Bo. Bo is a really good tennis player. Sam Herniason upstairs with us. Brian Peters, Ringo, John Almering, Jason Like, Woody, John Wood. In audio, Jeff Uhlberg. Yuli's won a lot of Emmys. He's been our A1 for years and years. Charlie's had a day, home run and a double.
Started off with his 10th leadoff home run of the year, leading all of baseball. Then he followed it up last time with a double, 2 RBIs on the day for Charlie, and it's just the bottom of the 4th.
Hit your 30th, Chuck. 1-1. Lou Incident. Lou's up here with us quite a bit. John Mickety you saw earlier. Mike Rotolo, Russell Cunningham.
Our audio people.
I'm really jealous of Motorola. That's what we call Mike Rotolo. Do you know what he's doing next week?
No.
He and his dad's big music guy from the 60s and 70s. He and his dad. Hold on a second. Deep right center field, way back, and off the wall. That was lost to the sun by Santana. Keep going.
I think Charlie thought he might have had it.
I was waving him to third up here.
I know.
Oh, man. Charlie could have had the triple.
An easy triple.
Go.
I think you're right. I think he thought it was out. We thought it may be out based on the reaction of Santana.
One more look on the Subaru Supermo. Just a fastball. Might have been in just a touch off the label, but it still sounded like it had enough. Charlie's running, looking and watching. Right now, I'm saying, I'm up here. Billy and I are like waving our arms. Go to third, try it, go. And instead, he'll have to settle for his 3rd hit of the day.
We used to always make fun of Garrett Atkins. Garrett Atkins could turn any triple into a double.
That wasn't his thing, Spilly. His thing was speed was not part of his
It was doubles or
toolbox.
homers.
Outside 2-0 on David Dahl. So anyhow, Motorola, he's going to California. He's going to the desert next week, Palm Springs. You see the lineup?
The Coachella?
Yeah, you see the lineup there? That music festival in Palm Springs next week? That's where Mikey's going. Stones are there. Who else is there, Dougie? Nobody knows more about music than you. The Who.
Who?
Neil Young's going to be there.
Wow.
It'll be a great show. I'm shocked Doug's not going. 2-1.
Well, that's because Lindsay, his wife.
Hold on a sec. Lindsay's with child
Right.
and not far away, but Dougie just got the okay, so he's going to go hiking. Where are you going? He's going to Zion? For how many days? 3? You have cell service there?
See, but he
You
can
need,
drive
you need
back
the 3
real
of us
quick.
to pinch hit for you? You got it covered? 2-2.
So Lindsay gave you the hall pass, huh? So it was okay. All right.
You know, through many baseball seasons, Huey, think of how folks have grown up. We talk about Woody now having he's had a family for a while. This ball's pulled foul. What were the odds that Doug would get married and then be married with children?
And then
Back a few years ago.
Then buy a minivan.
And then buy a minivan. It's been a good thing
It's
for you.
been a
That,
good ride,
that
though,
Toyota
Dougie.
minivan.
He's got a collared shirt on now. It used to be a T-shirt.
And all of them had something to do with the dad. This has hit the center field, caught out there by Perez. That'll end the inning. Charlie has a home run and 2 doubles today. 2-2 as we go to the 5th. Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Subaru. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru. By CenturyLink, your link to what's next. And by Tavern Downtown. Visit Tavern Downtown after Rockies home games and get 2-for-1 draft beers with your same-day ticket. Just a beautiful Sunday afternoon for game 162. The Rockies trying to produce their 76th win of the year. They already have more wins than they've had since 2010. Last time they were above 500. They finished 2010 at 83-79. Going to check in with Mark Stout here in a moment. Jake Elmore at the plate. RBI ground out his first time up. Marquez misses inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Germán has allowed 2 runs on 3 hits. Kind of unfortunate that he's given up runs. Charlie had a fly ball to center that he lost in the sun that went for a double. Two and 1. Down low 3-1. Milwaukee's won 4 out of 5 this year against the Rockies, and knocked down by Marquez, lost the glove. He'll still get the out at first base. Is he okay now?
Fortunate that he got some leather on this. Because if not, it would have gone to center field for a base hit. Right back up the middle, Elmore just kind of knocks the glove off, and then he just drops it. There's nothing wrong with that. If he would have thrown at the ball, then it's a different story. But just since he dropped it, it's okay.
It's kind of like, you know, when Mookie Wilson used to do this. When he was running out of triple, he'd flip the helmet off. I don't need the helmet right now. Well, Germán didn't need the glove anymore. Served its purpose, slowed the baseball down. Let's check in with Mark Stout.
Drew, you mentioned Chris Seiler earlier. He mans position number 4 for the camera. So it goes third base, where you guys are behind home plate, first base, and out here in the rock pile. This is right over center field. Chris is here the majority of the games. Patterson makes a nice scoop. There's another out. Chris told me he's been in this game for about 15 years, right? 15 years. And this is the kind of day you were saying, Drew. This is your office to see this kind of sight from up here.
Absolutely. It's a beautiful job, man. Nice sign, nice way to see the game, that's for sure.
We'll let Chris get back to work. Great job this season, Chris.
Thank you, Mark. I appreciate it.
We see him. Guy can do a lot of things, and he's got this great camera spot.
Somebody hits a baseball up where Chris is. They've hit it a long, long, long way.
That's truly a country mile.
That would be a country mile. Jonathan Villar with 2 outs. Kirk Neuenhuis just pinch hit. That's interesting. I think many of you know that Kirk is from Denver Christian. It's just over the head of a leaping Christian Adames, a knock for Villar. And we weren't sure if we were going to see Neuenhuis, who Milwaukee likes as a 4th outfielder, because he's going to have surgery in the off season. It looks like he has, I always call it a hockey injury, but he's got that sports hernia, which is very common with
I had that
with players in the NHL and guys who play hockey at a high level. You had one of those?
I had one, and it was diagnosed when I was playing winter ball in Mexico. And that was funny. The trainer goes, if it gets stuck, you have surgery here in Ciudad Obregón. And I go, when's my next flight to Denver?
Like maybe for Kirk.
That was a nice subtle move by Jordan Patterson.
Really
wasn't it?
nice. Kind of act like you're getting around him, but just
grab
hug
his
him
jersey,
enough.
hold him.
It was the old, it was the old hockey way of defensemen. Once somebody got by him, they kind of just grab and latch onto him. Now Jordan, just stay right there. I'll work around you.
Pull the jersey over his head. It's a 6-week recovery for the sports hernia. So Neuenhuis will be fine if he gets it right away.
Well, and one thing, just the opportunity to one last time to play in front of some friends and family that came to the game tonight. Nice touch by Craig Counsell, their manager.
Yep, absolutely.
He's the only left-handed bat on the bench for the Brewers.
Scooter Gennett fouls that off. 2-1. There's Craig. He's at his playing weight, 163 pounds. He used to hold that bat
so high.
It looked like me trying to reach something that my wife's hitting on a top shelf, and I can't get quite. I just can't get to it.
Just keep reaching high. Well, I've told the story before when I went to camp with the Rockies back in '97. Didn't make the team. Ended up going down to AAA, playing in Colorado Springs. Craig Counsell was the second baseman. Helton was at first. Nefi Perez was at shortstop. So they told me before I went, you're not going to get a whole lot of playing time, but if a chance to trade you, we'll do that. Worked out for me, but those guys were fun to play with for sure.
VR with his 62nd stolen base.
'81 steals for the Brewers as a ball club, and VR just adding to his total. Get one look on the Subaru Supremo because he tags him on the back of the leg. Now the hand's in there. Left hand was in. VR is just looking over his shoulder, thinking that ball went into center field.
Three and one on Gennett, and ball 4.
Rockies dugout stores are the place for all things Rockies, and the only place you can get the Nolan Arenado Colorado bobblehead series. There's only been 3 players in Brewers history to have had over 60+ stolen bases. VR has it. Tommy Harper back in 1969 at 73. Technically, it was the Seattle Pilots. And Scott Podsednik in 2004 had 70 stolen bases.
And Tommy Harper as our base running instructor when I was with the Montreal Expos way back in 1986.
It's crazy. Degrees of separation in baseball are what, 2?
2. It's not even the 6. The Kevin Bacon 6 degrees.
So Chris Carter wanders to the plate. Carter line out to right. And he was caught looking on a fastball on the inside corner. Marquez has pitched well. 2-2 top of 5, and that throw ideally needs to be on the shortstop side of the bag.
There wasn't even a daylight play called. There's just Pat Valenka standing right behind second base, saying, "I'm here if you want to throw it."
High fly ball right field near the stands, and did Cargo make the catch? He did, based on the applause. Couldn't see him do it, but the first base umpire, Tom Woodring, made his way out there, and that catch ends the inning. 2 men left on for Milwaukee. Nice job, Cargo. Rockies 2, Brewers 2. Final game of 2016. Let's take a look at the MVP candidates in the National League. Anthony Rizzo, Chris Bryant of the Cubs. Daniel Murphy's had an extraordinary year for Washington. He's been down the last couple of weeks with a buttocks injury, as our friend would say from Forrest Gump. Corey Seager, Nolan Arenado. Huey?
Well, I'm going to have to go on that list. Much as I'd like to give it to Nolan and say he's the guy, but when I'm with you, what you were talking about yesterday, Spilly, that it's got to come from a team that's in the hunt, going for the playoffs. So it's going to be Chris Bryant.
I'm with you on that one. I'm leaning towards Daniel Murphy based on what he's done, and when you look at the lineup that it's going to be an easy play. Garcia. When you look at the lineup that Bryant played in versus the lineup that Murphy played in, Bryce Harper was nowhere near where he was a year ago. And so I kind of lean towards Daniel Murphy, but I do think it hurts him the last 2 weeks of the season missing out. And the argument has always been for Nolan, he's the best, most outstanding player in baseball.
Agreed.
And what would the team's record be if Nolan wasn't in it? It'd still be below 500.
Well, I think if you flip the Rockies record, if they're 86 and 75 right now instead of 75 and 86, I think you can make a very convincing argument that Nolan's the MVP of the league. But we all know that wins seemingly are always attached to MVP candidacy. So I'm with you guys. I think it's going to go to Kris Bryant. I think it's not even going to be close. And I will say this, Daniel Murphy had one heck of a year for a club coming in that was dysfunctional. That's why when we get to Manager of the Year, Dusty Baker ought to get a whole lot of votes. 1-1 on Cargo. Here's the deal. Cargo is 1 for 2. If he throws out a base hit here, he'll move to 300 for the season. And he'll also move out of the ball game.
So you want to see a bunt right here?
I want to see him hit 300 is what I want to see.
Okay.
Whatever it takes.
I don't think he's going to do it. He would have done it
so
without
either.
a strike. Made it a close play. Out 4-3. Now it's going to be tough. Let's take a look at the American League MVP candidates. We have a similar type of thing. You want to make a comparison, Mike Trout to Nolan Arenado, because Mike's had a phenomenal year. He's the best player in the American League. Jose Altuve, Mookie Betts, Big Papi. He's going to get some sentimental votes, though legitimate votes also. And Edwin Encarnacion, 42 home runs for Toronto. That's a strike on Murphy. Spilly, we'll let you go first this time.
I think the American League, more so than the National League, will come down to the advanced metrics and how much these play into the way people are voting. Because Mike Trout, based on advanced metrics, far outweighs any one of these guys. He blows them completely out of the water. So we'll see where the new school versus old school is. If it's old school, I think Mookie Betts gets it.
Well, I'd say this, and Hugh, you got to sound up. Mike Trout runs really well, great outfielder. Mookie Betts is a tremendous outfielder.
And that's why, for me, it's Mookie Betts who is the MVP. He has 26 stolen bases to go along with the rest of those numbers. He scored 122 runs. Now, Big Papi's driving him in a lot. I get that. But Mookie Betts and where he's hitting that lineup for Boston, and again, it goes back to Boston going from worst to first
in the record.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Mookie Betts, though there's a big part of me that would love to see Big Papi on his way out take home the MVP trophy.
And he just might.
He could.
Yeah.
There could be some sentimental votes there.
Yeah, but you know what? There's legitimacy to it also. You're talking about 38 big flies, 127 driven in, a lot of big late inning hits, 317 average, and now he's getting to his favorite time of year. He's been one of the great postseason players in history.
The only argument against David Ortiz is that they asked the voters to weigh in defense. And because David Ortiz is only a DH, that you cannot say that he's the most valuable player to a team because he's not helping out defensively.
I read a piece this morning, somebody suggesting that David Ortiz, may not get in on the first ballot for that reason, and also this ball lined down the line, extra bases for Daniel Murphy, for Tom Murphy. So a double for Tom. Bring up Jordan Patterson in this 2-2 game. But his name was on one of those lists back in 2003 that we never failed a drug test.
And it wasn't supposed to be out, that list.
It's a good swing by Murph.
Real good swing by Murph. Like an inside out piece, taking it for his second double of the season.
I'll say this, in 5 years, if Big Papi holds to what he said all along, that he's leaving the game at the conclusion of this year, because obviously easily could come back based on the numbers we just showed you. if in 5 years he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer, as much as I love Cooperstown, you might as well shut the whole place down.
He has to be with the numbers, over 500 career home runs. You know, where he ranks in Boston history with RBIs and home runs. And just because he's a DH, I mean, I get the point you're saying about MVP.
It's a position.
But it's a position. It is not like, hey, they just invented this and he's the only guy that has ever played it.
This ball is well hit left center field off the bat of Patterson, and it's going to go off the wall. Jogging Holmes Murphy. Rockies have a 3-2 lead. How about Jordan Patterson's weekend?
3 for 5 last night. So far today, 2 for 3, and the go-ahead RBI, and his first RBI of his career.
I love the approach so far in the limited at-bats that we've seen with Patterson, and he's not afraid, just like David Dahl, just like so many of the Rockies hitters, to let the ball travel and hit it opposite field. That takes a lot of strength to hit the ball 390 opposite field for a lefty. You always hear the statement for any player on any organization: finish strong. Leave a lasting memory for the front office and the coaching staff moving into the offseason, into next season. Patterson's leaving a pretty good memory for this coaching staff and front office.
Well, you want to be a championship team. We know you have to have great pitching quality and great pitching depth. You need position player depth. Patterson showing that he absolutely can provide it. We've seen Pat Valaika swing the bat well here. A brief time in September. And I know September can lie a little bit, but you guys look deeper than that. You're looking at mechanics. You're looking at so many of the subtle things with these guys. And we had Jeff Bridich on yesterday. And one of the things the Rockies should be very, very proud of is that every guy they've brought to the big leagues has been ready and excelled in most cases.
And they've carried themselves the right way. Yeah, the body language, it's another thing that I kind of look at. I look beyond just what he's hitting or, you know, how many home run RBI. I look at the body language. How does he act when he's out on the major league field?
Now it's a matter of making that next big step, which is not easy. Spilly, your young group was able to do it.
This young group, though, because they've spent so much time together between AA and AAA, it reminds me of our group. This one's a little bit more talented, and it's not a knock on the group that I came with. There's a lot of talented players in this Rockies rookie class, but they really like each other. You see them around each other. They're constantly ribbing each other.
Swung on and missed. That'll end the inning, but a 2-out rally for the Rockies. Murphy a double, Jordan Patterson a double. Here's Allison and Mike.
2-1, and take us.
Look back. Well, Charlie Blackmon's been decent today. Hit a home run his first time up. That's number 29. 10th leadoff home run this year for the Rockies. Then he hit a double, drove in a run. Then he'll come up again. Here's Patterson's double. There was also another double for Charlie Blackmon today. And Germán Marquez has pitched very well. Here he is at the top of the 6th inning against Domingo Santana. Santana's 0 for 2. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Just 4 hits allowed today by Marquez.
So think about next year, guys. You're going into the season with Jon Gray, Tyler Chatwood, Tyler Anderson, Chad Bettis. We've seen Hoffman. We've seen Marquez. There's a good breaking ball. We have not seen yet, but they're not far away, Kyle Freeland, Senzatella, Antonio Senzatella. Swung on and missed. Another strikeout for Marquez. He is fan 7.
We mentioned it about the starting pitching in our open, something I really highlighted because I thought the jump they made from last year with 54 quality starts to 77 this year has just been phenomenal in the growth. And for Marquez, coming back after the curveball, goes back with the fastball. But the other thing too, with all those guys, you know, a couple of those guys you mentioned, Tyler Chatwood, Tyler Anderson specifically, is there's not going to be the restrictions or limitations because they're another year removed from whatever injury. Tyler with the elbow, Tyler Anderson with the fracture elbow, and then of course the Tommy John for Tyler Chatwood.
And that same can be said with the Jeff Hoffman too. Hoffman's still coming 2 years off of Tommy John.
Yeah, he threw 150 innings this year combined.
Line to right. Cargo is going to have to field this out of the corner. And Perez in with a double.
Cargo's had his work cut out for him over there today.
Probably running around a little more than he figured he was going to have to in game 162.
Inside out swing, gets a pitch up in the zone, and if Marquez can find out a way to strand Perez at second base, he'll end up with another quality start, and that will make it 78 quality starts on the season for the Rockies.
Which blew away what they did last year. What, 54 last year?
Yeah.
I want to point something else out about the rotation that speaks to mental toughness and the kind of makeup and stuff that these guys have. On the ground to third, Nolan holds the runner, throws out Arcia. 2 outs. That'll bring up Andrew Susac. Chad Bettis, 4.44 home ERA, 8.2 record at home. Better home ERA actually than out on the road. And the Rockies won his last 10 starts, which matches a club record set by Jason Jennings a few years back. You look at Jon Gray, 4.30 ERA at home, 7-2 home record. Out on the road, 4.91. So he was better at home. Marquez right now with a 1.5 ERA at home. Out on the road, it's much higher. Anderson has a 3 ERA at home, 5-2 record. He's well over a 4 out on the road. I know they clean it up on the road. How do they pitch at Coors Field, which has always been a conundrum for so many pitchers? 3 of the Rockies starters have been much better at home.
That's why for me this season is a little bit of a disappointment because they had so much production from so many areas that you didn't expect it from.
This has got funky spin. Good job handling that by Adames. And Susac is thrown out through 6 innings. Germán Marquez has pitched wonderful baseball. He's given up just 2 runs on 5 hits. Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Some more members, some like to be incognito, of our crew. Joe Myers, our TD. Jared Legrani has been our TD for a lot of shows as well this year. Susan Strand's not here this weekend. She's our graphics coordinator, has been with the Rockies before day one. Jim Armatrat directs a lot of our shows. Tavis Strand is our main producer, and Tavis away doing football, and Allison Vigil is with us most of the year. She's outstanding. Nicole Gates, Justin Argo, Erica Ferraro. Rockies up 3-2. Christian Adames facing Jan Marinas. Third guy out of the pen used by Craig Counsell. We knew all weekend it was going to be a pen day. Jimmy Nelson was scheduled to make the final start of the year. They decided, Jimmy's been struggling, decided to stay away from him and let his offseason begin.
Looks like Marquez is going to hit for himself, and that means he'll head on out for the 7th inning.
It's in there for a strike.
That's good for Marquez too, to finish on this type of note. It was great for Hoffman last night to finish on the note he did. Even Eddie Butler coming in with 2 innings of relief and pitching well.
Well, not only for the young guys, but Tyler Chatwood, what he did, how he finished strong. Chad Bettis. I mean, those are just as important for those guys as they go to the offseason to have that good feeling in their, on their heads as they start their offseason workouts.
2 outs.
MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service. Join the millions of subscribers. Watch every out-of-market game live in True HD on over 400 devices.
Well, Charlie's 3 for 3, a home run and 2 doubles. Last time up, we thought he may have hit his 30th home run. Off the plate. Charlie's got 10 leadoff home runs this year. He's on that all-time list now for single season leadoff home runs. On the list twice is Alfonso Soriano. He had 13 with the Yankees in '03, and then with the Cubs he hit a dozen. Brian Anderson, old teammate of yours. Brady Anderson, excuse me. There was a Brian Anderson too, but Brady Anderson, old teammate of yours, hit a dozen. Bobby Bonds hit 11. Jock Jones. Jock Jones, the hitting coach. We just saw Jock not too long ago. He's an assistant hitting coach.
Charlie was hoping that Scott Berry, the home plate umpire, would have called it a strike so he'd get one more pitch. What do you think? Pitch run, Charlie, let him get the ovation?
No, I think
he wants to play.
Wants to let him get a chance for 30 home runs.
If the score remains the same and they get clean innings, he's not going to get another at bat.
Well, that's unlikely. I think he gets one more. I think, you know how Charlie's wired. He doesn't want to come out. David Dahl. Dougie did some more calculating. Cargo, he's 1 for 3. If Cargo gets a hit his next at bat, that will put him over 300. It'll put him at .30017. It's 300. So Spilly's going to ask the question again. Will he lay down a bunt if he comes up with nobody on? They have that dramatic shift on. That's why he's smiling. Somebody just said that. Lay down a bunt.
Lay down a bunt. Not if there's guys to drive in. He'll try to drive him in with one swing, get that 300 and some more stakes out there.
Tell you, this is a good running situation. 2 outs. You have Dahl at the plate. Charlie at first. +1 on the scoreboard in the 6th.
And you talked to Charlie in the clubhouse a few days ago about the reason why he wasn't running as much this year, and it had a lot to do with the guy that's hitting behind him.
You have several guys hitting behind him. Nolan has 133 RBIs for a reason. It's not because Charlie stole 40 bases this season.
Yeah, Nolan's driven in Charlie 29 times and DJ 30 times.
You know, it's kind of interesting. You guys can relate to this. You get to 162 after playing for 6 weeks of spring training, and that's close.
Well, if he would have reached with his right hand, they would have got it. But he reached with his left, kind of swim move going back to first, where he pulled his right hand back. Watch how close it is. So he starts to dive back. You think you're getting the right hand? Nope. You'll switcheroo. You get in the left hand, and that's how he got back in.
Third baseman VR came in to grab the rosin bag to try to buy a little bit more time.
Charlie told me the other day that body-wise, he feels really good. He feels pretty fresh, which is remarkable, isn't it?
Play almost 200 games if you include spring training.
Okay, now David's got to step out. David Dahl, he needs to step out.
I don't know if I've ever seen 5 in a row.
Maybe go get the rosin back.
6?
Give Charlie a chance to catch his breath.
He's going to leave early.
There he goes. The throw to second. Perfect throw. Got it. Andrew Susac cuts down Charlie Blackmon after 5 straight pick attempts by Marinas. Here's our Kubota pitching performance. How about German Marquez? He's still in the ballgame, by the way, but so far, 6 innings. He's allowed a couple runs, hard luck runs, because there was a double that was lost in the sun out in center field. Just a walk and 7 strikeouts. He's leaving a nice final impression. The 21-year-old. And here he is in the 7th inning.
84 pitches, 54 for strikes for Marquez.
Jake Elmore fouls that off. 1-1.
Mentioned earlier today that the Giants mentioned to me that they noticed when Marquez was about to throw off speed just because he slowed down. Today I haven't noticed once from up in the booth, which is obviously not the same as being in the box, base hit to right, but Marquez has been throwing with the same mechanics throughout the game.
Now Milwaukee will go to their bench. They're going to go to Yosmil Pinto again. He's pinch hitting all 3 ball games. Rockies up 3-2. And now Walt is coming out. Looks like that'll be the end of the line for Marquez. The first guy who patted him on the chest was Nolan Arenado. Great job, German Marquez. Well done.
Your holiday party yet with the unique indoor event spaces and views of the snow-capped mountains. Coors Field has the perfect space to celebrate the season. For more information, call 303 Rockies.
So Matt Caracetti in the ball game. German Marquez, Walt taking the baseball from him after 87 pitches. He wants to try to get him a win.
Matt pitched last night. Last couple times out for Matt have been better than it was early on. He's working ahead more than he's falling behind, and then that gets him to that fork ball. Last night was an inning. Did give up a hit, but also had 2 strikeouts in just 14 pitches.
This is ball 1 on Yosmil Pinto. Giants in the 6th inning continuing to lead Los Angeles. LA has scored 5-1 against again, if the Giants win, they will capture the 2nd wild card. The Mets clinched the top wild card yesterday. The Mets will host on Wednesday. Cardinals' only hope is if they win and the Giants lose, and then they would have to play a game 163 on Monday. Cardinals trailing in the 6th inning 2-1 against the Pirates.
Adam Wainwright started, or is still in the ball game for the Cardinals.
American League is fascinating. Baltimore has to win today, and they're winning behind Matt Wieters, who's homered from both sides of the plate. Throw to second. Out! at second base. Elmore's caught stealing.
Not a particularly good throw from Murphy behind the plate, but he gets a nice bounce in the skip off the grass. One hop. And then because he kept the tag on him, because originally Jake Elmore beat the throw down there.
No, he was
No,
out
he
there.
was out the first time. Excuse me. I thought he got his foot on, but I thought right there is where his foot came off and was going to be tagged out.
Actually, that should count twice. 2 outs now.
So 2 outs. That caught stealing too to close the book on Marquez.
He goes 6 innings, allows 2 runs on 6 hits, a walk and 7 strikeouts. In line for his second victory. Good pitch. Good job by Caracetti coming all the way back to strike out Pinto. 2 outs. That'll bring up VR, who has 2 hits today in 3 at-bats.
There's the tumbling fork ball of Caracetti that he's able to locate away. Pinto swinging out a pitch well out of the strike zone. Probably looking fastball. For Caracetti, it is nice for him getting, again, like most of these guys, they're finishing on a strong note and getting an opportunity to get that good result. For a while, Caracetti was getting nothing but bad result.
Well, his first 11 games, he had a 14.40 ERA. In the last 7, coming into this inning, a 0 ERA.
And it's good for him to get that confidence that he can throw a 3-2 fork ball.
When you're a 2-pitch mix for a pitcher, you have to pitch ahead. You cannot rely on just those 2 pitches when you fall behind, because you know, hitters, it's easy to then just determine what pitch is coming. If you have 3 or 4, then it makes it more difficult.
Two and nothing on VR.
VR has one thing on his mind this at bat. And that's trying to hit 1 more home run.
Number 20, is that what he has on his mind? 19 home runs right now.
That would put him in some pretty elite categories.
Three and one.
Even on game 162, in the 7th inning, a hitter is reminding himself to stay back. Never goes away.
VR's pretending to swing. He wanted an opportunity, obviously, to hit his 20th home run. It's ball 4. He goes down to first, and that'll bring up Scooter Gennett. Look at this.
Ball 4.
Ball 4. What? No, that's one.
Oh my.
I don't know if I've seen that before.
Not that late.
No, I don't know if you guys caught this, but Miami finishing their season, and what just a tragic, awful week for them, and the death of Jose Fernandez, which is going to linger for their organization and for all of baseball for a long time. But to try to lighten the mood a little bit, I love what Don Mattingly did today. It's a 5-5 game, by the way, in the 5th inning in Washington. The unquestioned leader of that team, as we know, is Martin Prado, who just signed a 3-year extension for a good deal of cash, and he deserves it. He's a tremendous player, tremendous leader. He is the player manager today, and he started at 3rd base, but he made an interesting move here in the middle innings. He has pulled himself out. He was 1 for 2. He's done. He put Derek Dietrich in. Set up, done. Dietrich, you're at third base.
Well, that's what a manager can do.
Yeah. Oh, 0-2 on Jeanette.
Frank Robinson did it one time where he pinch hit for himself and hit a homer.
Swung on it, missed. Beautiful pitch. And Matt Caracetti continues to pitch well here late in 2016. It is stretch time with the Rockies up 3-2. And we'd be remiss if we didn't have a final tribute for the great Vin Scully.
Today marks the end of an era in our great sport as the legendary Vin Scully broadcasts his final game of an unparalleled 67-year career behind the mic.
Vin, it's been an honor for me, and I'm going to miss seeing you in LA next year.
67 years, and I'll never forget when you called me Silky Sullivan.
From Brooklyn to LA and every ballpark in between, you'll always be our voice of baseball.
Vin, I come from a broadcasting family. It has been an honor to be part of Rockies-Dodgers games, knowing that you're in the booth, and I wish you well in your retirement.
Vin, you transcend generations. We're going to miss you.
Vin, you're first class all the way. We're really going to miss you. You've been one of a kind. Enjoy your retirement.
Vin, thank you so much from two Southern California boys who had the pleasure of playing in the big leagues and hearing you call our names. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Vin, so much. Thanks for calling my 40th homer. It meant a lot to me, and thank you for everything you've done.
Farewell, Vin.
Vin, one of the great rewards, one of the great pleasures of my baseball career has been getting to know you through the years. And I've often received the question, what is Vin Scully really like? And I answer it the same way every time. I say he is the greatest broadcaster of baseball there's ever been, the greatest baseball broadcaster there ever will be. But more importantly, he's an even finer gentleman. Vin, from all of us at Root Sports and the Colorado Rockies, we wish you nothing but the best in the future, and congratulations on a wonderful 67-year career. And Vin, a very pleasant good evening to you.
Timeless moment brought to you by Coors Banquet. September 23rd, 2016, the Dodgers celebrate 67 years of Vin in the booth. It was Vin Scully Appreciation Night at Dodger Stadium, and the 88-year-old Hall of Fame broadcaster will retire a little later on today. 80 years, folks, to the day. 80 years to the day to when he became a baseball fan and initially a Giant fan. As an 8-year-old, he felt sorry for the Giants. They were getting their butts kicked, if you will, in the World Series in Game 2, giving up 13 runs. And the little boy said, I'm a Giants fan. He grew up in Washington Heights, right near the Polo Grounds. And then 80 years literally later to the day, he broadcasts his final game. It's the Giants hosting the Dodgers.
Did you see the picture yesterday? I saw it yesterday with Vin and Willie Mays.
I didn't see that.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Here's a little timeline on Scully. Began at 50. It still boggles my mind every time we see that. 67 years. No-hitters, you kidding me? 3 perfect games. David Dahl at the plate. It's Dahl, Arenado, and Cargo here in the bottom of the 7th inning. And the 4th pitcher utilized today by Milwaukee is Blaine Boyer. This is down the left field line out of play. Check this out. Spilly, you called this. In Washington today, and the Nats now lead 8-5 over Miami. Daniel Murphy, moments ago, pinch hit. Here it is.
Well, you knew if he was going to get a base hit, he'd win a batting title.
Murphy to right. Destin Hood waiting for it.
Dusty Baker waited till the very last game possible to give Murphy an opportunity to win that batting title, and obviously he did.
Now, if he got a hit there, DJ'd have to go to the bat rack and get some lumber ready. So it is now almost official. DJ is going to win a batting title. And that is just tremendous for LeMahieu, who's had an extraordinary year. He's hit .402 since August 1st. That covering 49 games. Let's check in with Mark Stout. I know, Mark, you were just with his wife, Jordan.
I just popped in to say hello to her because I talked to her on August the 6th. That was the bobblehead day, and I said, hey, will you promise me you'll come onto the field if he wins a batting title? And she looked at me, and I said, no, you don't have to do that. She said she has not been this nervous ever at a baseball game because DJ wasn't playing. But now she knows she definitely had that game on her phone.
Well, it's terrific, and you know, the Rockies have a history of producing batting champions. Justin Morneau, Michael Kadire, the last 2 batting champions. And DJ just keeps getting better and better. And it would not shock me in the next couple of years if he competes for another one.
Not at all, but you look at the numbers too for Daniel Murphy. You knew he was probably going to pinch hit today, because if he doesn't, that would be almost 2.5 weeks off, because they don't play until Friday. And they wouldn't want to go, he wouldn't want to go that long without seeing Major League pitching.
You would think, Spilly, you guys went through this in preparation for the Red Sox in '07, and you know, a lot of people point to that layoff. There's David Dahl with the base hit leading off the inning against Blaine Boyer. And you had the 9-day layoff, and see, you played some inter-squad scrimmages, did you not?
It's not ever the same. It's not even close. And that last week, waiting for the Red Sox to get ready, we were trying everything to simulate baseball games. And prior to ever getting to the World Series, we were playing scrimmages at Coors Field where it was empty seats. It was just us. And you try your best to get yourself into that field, but when you come to Coors Field and there's 48,000 people surrounding you, and the energy that we felt, couldn't mimic it. And I don't know, for guys, even though for a guy like Daniel Murphy, it's one thing to do scrimmage baseball games to get himself ready. It's another when you're playing at the big league level.
And it's also hard to, when you've played so many games against other competitions, to come back and it's like the first of spring training. You don't even like facing your own pitchers then. And so now you're doing it, you know, way after the fact.
That's a rocket up the middle, a base hit for Nolan. Where the first 2 have reached. Here in the 7th with the Rockies ahead 3-2. Guess who's coming up?
Goes down and gets this. This classic Cargo, the way he just really tracks his head. There's Nolan, excuse me. I'm thinking of Cargo getting to 300. I'm jumping the gun. But the way he tracks with his head, going down to get a pitch.
There's Nolan and Chris Carter at first base.
Having a good time with one another.
The last at bat for Nolan for the season. Carter will lead off next inning. Nolan's probably saying, "Hey man, come on, let's just."
we're walking here.
Yeah, look, we're both number one.
That's up the middle. Boyer to second, on to first. Cargo's safe there. So Cargo's going to come up, in all likelihood, a little shy of his goal to hit 300 this year. First and third, one out. That'll bring up Murphy.
Where RC was up the middle, not sure that was going to be a base hit. He smoked it though. But he's just eyeballing the board right now too, because they've got the big board here updated. He's 298. I mean, most guys say 298, yeah. But no, not when you're that close to hitting 300. Cargo's been over 300 just recently. But still, when you think about it, 25 home runs, 100 ribbies.
And for Cargo, back-to-back years where he's had good health. Murphy hit by a pitch, a pop out, and a double. Scored the Rockies' go-ahead run in the fifth. Jordan Patterson doubled him in. There's DJ. He's got a little smile on his face. He wasn't in the dugout a few minutes ago. You know where he was.
Video room?
I guarantee you he was in the cage swinging.
Yeah, he's getting warmed up.
Somebody said, hey, Murphy's taking an AB. I guarantee you he went up the tunnel and was swinging the bat. Well, he's going to join a select group of Rockies that have won a batting title. 1-1 on Murphy. How about in the inaugural season, Big Cat hit 370 to win the batting title. Walker won it in 98, 99. Helton in 2000. Walker again in 01. Matt Holliday in 2007 when he hit 340. Cargo won a batting title at 336 in 2010, and then most recently Kadire 331 in 2013, 2 years ago. Morneau at 319 won a batting title, and DJ is going to win a batting title at 348, which becomes the highest batting average since the installation
of the humidor
in 2002. Walker hit 350 in 2001 to win a batting crown. Foul tip, 2 outs.
I think my favorite part of watching DJ this year win the batting title is where he's come from in the last 3 years. The first time I ever saw DJ standing by Tulowitzki, I thought it was Tulo at first. They same size, the build, 6'4", moving around. Now the athleticism you can see from him, and then you see his swing, inside out swing. Basically, when he started 3 years ago, from second base over to the right field foul line was where he got his hits. It wasn't line to line. And then last year he started to get a little bit more pop in his bat, using more of the field. And now where he's at, again, the growth of these players, Charlie, of Nolan, it's been fun to watch because we've witnessed it. Congratulations, DJ.
Fox Sports is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. By Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo customers get your 2-for-1 club level tickets by visiting wellsfargo.com/Rockies. And by StubHub. Looking for great seats? Head to StubHub, the official ticket marketplace of the Colorado Rockies. We embark on the top of the 8th inning with the Rockies in front in game 162. 3-2. Carlos Estevez will be asked to get Chris Carter, Domingo Santana, and Hernan Perez. Carter today is 0 for 3. Checked his swing, called the ball. I also want to give a shout out. So much has been written about all year, and especially the last week or so, and deservedly so. All the tributes to the great Vin Scully. He went that time 2-1. There are 2 other longtime broadcasters who are retiring. Dick Enberg, who has had a marvelous career nationally, originally a television voice of the Angels, and last, I think, 7 years back with the Padres. And Dick has decided to retire at the end of the year as well. He's a Hall of Fame broadcaster in so many sports. And our best to the legendary Dick Enberg. This is lobbed out in a right field. It'll be a base hit. And also Bill Brown. Brownie, 30 years. Television play-by-play voice of the Astros, and a good guy. Bill's decided to move into retirement after this year, and we wish both of those gentlemen all the best.
I second that.
Uke's coming back, though.
Yeah,
he's next door.
Uecker.
And Uke had a special tribute. There's Uke. Uke had a special tribute in his inimitable way to his longtime friend Vin.
Man, I can't believe I'm getting a chance to do this. But anyway, let me say that I guess number 1, Fast and Furious. What a movie. That was unbelievable. To watch you and watch the action in that, what? It's Vin Diesel, right? Vin Scully? Oh, gosh. Oh, man, I'm sorry. I'll start over.
Well, our timing wasn't good there. Santana hits a 2-run home run, but always entertaining. Bob Uecker.
I thought it was perfect timing, comedic timing.
Yeah.
Let Uecker tell the story while the home run's walking around.
Yeah, I'm glad. Maybe that obscured the bad news on the field. 2-run home run from Domingo Santana. Is that classic Uke, though?
He told me this story. I had the chance to sit with him because I was so excited to meet the guy. And when I first met Mr. Uecker, he's like, you better call me Bob or I'm going to kick you out of here. And today he told me to hurry up and take the pictures before the Mets kicked in. He really is. He's a genuine human. When he was telling me stories of his stand-up comedy back in the day, about there's a Uecker jersey.
Yeah, but those seats are too good for the Uecker.
Yeah, you need to be sitting all the way at the top, right? Above the purple row. He was telling me part of his gig and his shtick when he would go on Johnny Carson was that he made sure he never laughed. Never. And Johnny told him one time, and even Vince said the same thing. The hardest interview Vince Scully ever had was with Bob Uecker, because Bob would never answer anything straight. And Bob would never crack a smile, never laugh, and Vin would just lose it.
And same with Johnny Carson.
He has some of the best lines ever uttered in the history of not only baseball broadcasting, but just conversations about baseball and about his own career. You look up self-deprecating in the book, and there's a picture of Uke with a bat in his hands.
In the broadcast, talking about how he would, you know, just wait until it stopped rolling, and then he went and picked it up.
Best way to catch a knuckleball. Yeah.
Famous line, just a bit outside. I mean, everybody uses that one.
And Frazier always used to point this out, and it's absolutely the truth. We all think of Uke as this comedian, and he was a funny actor, Mr. Belvedere. Bob is a tremendous broadcaster, baseball broadcaster, great baseball broadcaster. And it's not all yucks if you know if you're listening to the Milwaukee Brewers back in Wisconsin and that part of the country.
Yeah, I had the pleasure when I played for the Brewers in '97 after being traded from the Rockies over there was to spend almost a full year with Uke.
It's been a rough inning for Carlos Estevez. Single, home run, and now Perez walks. At the plate is Orlando Arcia. The Rockies were up 3-2. Now they trail 4-3. And a little larger disappointment when you reflect back on the bottom of the 7th inning. The Rockies had 2 base hits to begin the inning. The right guys at the plate, but they do not score. Didn't add on. Up the middle. This should, well, it's going to hit the bag. What a play. That's a great play by Adames with his bare hand. You could see that coming from our vantage point, that it could have been a double play, but the ball hits the bag, and Christian, reaching almost behind him, grabbed it with his bare hand to get an out.
Because it goes over the bag, and then it goes over Pat's shoulder. And then he bare hands it, and in one motion throws to first. Now, that's always a tough play for an infielder as you're getting ready to go to this ball, because you can't get in front of the bag. You just hope it doesn't hit the bag, and that's exactly what it did. And then just to be able to change the grip to make the strong throw over to first is hard too. So Christian, well done.
Andrew Susac at the plate. While Andrew gets ready for the next pitch, it's 0-1. We're going to take a look at some of the candidates for Manager of the Year in the National League. Two-strike count. Huey, you like to say this. Terry Collins been fired 6 times this year by the New York media and the fans, yet they had the best record over the last 49 games in baseball, 27-12. Dusty Baker, that was not a healthy environment until Dusty arrived.
A little toxic.
Yeah. Dave Roberts, man, he takes over a club that had some issues, a lot of talent. They win 91 games. And Susac's gone. Joe Maddon's got to be a candidate. I mean, I know the Cubs are talented, but they've won 102 games. Bruce Bochy's a perennial candidate. Huey, who would you vote for?
Well, as much as my heart is saying vote for Terry Collins, I think looking at it, it has to go for me to Dave Roberts as a first-year guy going to LA. And I know they won 3 straight division titles, but Dave Roberts, you had the Puig incident, you had Clayton Kershaw getting injured and missing 2+ months. Not really a starting rotation after him. So to me, Dave Roberts gets my vote. But Terry Collins, I'll give you a second-place vote.
I think this one's going to be hotly contested because Dusty Baker came into a pretty toxic environment and made sure this team played well. He's as good of a player-manager as there is in baseball. And I think with the Cubs, you look at Joe Maddon, 102 wins. They haven't done that. To me, I agree with you, Huey. I think when you look at the body of work for Dave Roberts and the fact that the Dodgers lead all of baseball with guys on the disabled list, I think you have to give it to Dave Roberts and that Dodgers coaching staff in his first year.
You know what? There's so many good candidates up there. I'm going to go with Dusty, because let's not forget Strasburg got hurt. Bryce Harper hit about 100 points lower this year. I just looked. He's at 244.
They lost
today.
Jordan Zimmerman
They
last year.
lost Jordan Zimmerman, one of the staples of their rotation. They lost their closer midseason for ineffectiveness. And, you know, they're in the mid-90s. They captured division title with the returning National League champs in their division loaded up on the mound. We obviously didn't know how many injuries there were going to happen with the Mets, but I'll tell you, Dusty Baker came in and did, as he's always done. Dusty's collected Manager of the Year trophies at previous stops. Outside, ball 4, so Elmore walks. They're 2 on, 2 outs. It's turned into a lengthy inning for Carlos Estevez. I know many of you, it's been in the papers, it's been discussed quite a bit on the internet, especially the last week or two. You know, Walt is coming out right now. His fate will be determined in meetings over the next several days. I'm sure he'll be participating, obviously, in some of those. And I want to tell you, in 4 years, I think Walt has done a terrific job in changing the culture, because when he took over in 2000, after 2012, the worst season in Rockies history, the clubhouse had some issues. It was not a team that you would call talent laden, and now they're on the cusp of really doing some special things. We'll have a little bit more on Walt when we come back, but Walt has done a fine job. On the 2-run home run by Domingo Santana's 11th of the year. Hugh, I know that you had some thoughts on Walt's tenure so far.
Yeah, and I think you touched on it briefly, but I just want to kind of expand on it. The locker room is the players' haven. It's their safe place to go whenever they come to the ball field. Everything has to be directed towards what's happening on the field that night. And I think Waltz did a remarkable job turning it from what it was to what it is now, because I know talking to the guys back then and now it's really done a 180. And I think Walt and his coaching staff have a lot to do with that.
Very easy for a team that's out of it to just stop playing. And one of the greatest things of this Rockies team is the core group of guys. The guys like Charlie, the guys like DJ, Cargo, Nolan. They have never stopped playing hard. They've never stopped for 1 second. And I think that's permeated through the locker room, and that comes from the top. It always comes from the top, and it gets trickled down to the players.
He's a steady hand. And I know sometimes he's been criticized because people want to see him, you know, I guess throwing helmets in the dugout if things don't go well. Not his style, but as we've said many times, that doesn't mean that there's not fire within Walt that is displayed behind closed doors. And you guys as players, that's much appreciated. Nobody wants to be undressed in front of a television audience and in front of fans in the stands.
And it's not football. It's not where you can do that once a week and it's okay. Baseball players, it's every single day. It's the grind of being able to go out there and perform. It's not to say that every once in a while it's useful, but not once a week. It's just, you just tune it out after a while.
0-2 on the pinch hitter Manny Pena. Justin Miller misses high. One, two. Strike three. Good pitch. So the Rockies have to go to work on offense again. They trail 4-3 as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. It'll be Pat Valaika to lead off. Sports_RM on Twitter to receive alerts for the Rockies taco special when the Rockies score 7 or more runs. Carlos Torres is going to take over from Milwaukee. Brewers leading 4-3, bottom of the 8th inning. Pat Valaika again will lead off. Christian Adames to follow. Torres had a good year, league hitting just .214 against him. He had a scoreless outing yesterday. Gave up a hit. He handled the 7th inning for Milwaukee last night.
Torres has pitched in a lot of roles for Milwaukee this year. Right now, he's been asked to do the 8th.
Pat Valaika's had a tough day. 3 strikeouts. Try to change that right here against Carlos Torres. Carlos Estevez goes 2/3 of an inning, gives up 2 runs, 2 hits, couple of walks, and a strikeout.
Pitcher spot is 3rd up this inning, and it would be fitting to see DJ LeMahieu get that at bat. See if the public address announcer at Coors Field will announce it as he comes up to the plate.
And Valaika gone. It's a tough day. 4 punch outs for Pat. That'll bring up Christian Adames. Defensive change for Milwaukee. Yadiel Rivera is in at 3rd base. Jonathan VR goes to 2nd, and Scooter Gennett comes out. Adames walked and scored in the second, 0 for 2.
Looks like Tapia is on the on-deck circle. I'm with you though, Spilly. It'd have been fun to because even if DJ went up there,
didn't matter,
and went 0 for 1, he would still hit .3472 compared to Murphy's .3465.
Back up the middle, but slowly hit. VR with good hands, throws out. Adames, 2 outs. And here comes Tapia. Ronmel been relegated more or less to pinch hitting over the last couple of weeks. But he's made a positive impression.
Three or 4 starts in a row when Charlie was dealing with this a minor back issue. Since then, it's a lot of pinch hitting. Be late in game if it's scores tilted one way or the other.
Time of day, Spilly, where it's advantage pitcher big time.
Big time. If the pitcher's in the sunlight and then the ball goes into the shadow, almost impossible to see the baseball.
You lose the seams, right?
You don't see anything.
You see a blur is what you see. You just see this some sort of innate object coming at you. You don't know what it is.
I'll hit this thing. I think Mickey Mantle, famously for his off-field exploits in many games, being a little less than plane shape, would often be told to just hit the one in the middle.
The base hit. Well, the thing that was first uttered by Mickey when he couldn't go one day was a little under the weather, and he was called upon to pinch hit late in the ball game. You see Tapia rolling through the right side. Mickey was called upon to pinch hit, and he hit a game-winning walk-off home run in the ninth. Reporters gathered around his locker after the game. They said, "Mickey, what'd you hit?" And he said, "I don't know, man. I saw 3 baseballs. I swung at the one in the middle." Back in a time where you could say such a thing.
You could. Oh, it had been on Twitter the night before.
I don't know how well received that would have been in today's time. Well, Charlie, now would be an appropriate time to hit number 30. He started the day with number 29. Put the Rockies back on top. Torres, a guy, I'm sure you faced him. He's a guy that keeps the ball on the ground typically.
Sinker ball pitcher, hides the ball very well. I remember he had a little bit of a little run to his baseball, and that's usually what you'll see when you have a ground ball type pitcher.
That's going to be another base hit. That's Charlie's 4th hit of the day. Tapia to third. Rockies all year, Huey, have been magical with 2 outs, hoping for another 2-out rally here in the 8th.
Certainly resilient. This club, you get the pinch hit from Tapia, and now Charlie with his 4th hit today. This one's a single, and you have a chance at first and third with 2 outs. That's why I wish he would have gone for that triple earlier.
You know what? Exactly. You guys were yelling for him to go to third, and I think he would have had it, and there's the single.
just have to settle for a 4 for 4.
4 for 4 and a walk. David Dahl at the plate. David's had big hits. He's 1 for 4. For Charlie, that's his 4th 4-hit game of the year. Dahl gets a good swing off. So this is really game 3. Jenny pointed this out earlier. This is game 3 of a 7-game series with the 6-month interruption.
The only difference is you don't know who the starting pitchers are going to be in the next game.
You have a lot of time to get yourself prepared to face them again. Work out the kinks.
Well, say it's John Gray, gonna have 6 months of sleepless nights getting ready for his next start. Right?
Yeah, for Greg Counsell, not sure who his starters are going to be as they go into the offseason.
Second time in the last few years the Rockies will open a season at Miller Park.
And it's a 4-game set.
That's really strange.
Usually you'll have that 3-game with an off day before you come back, because the Rockies will open up as they typically do on the Friday here at Coors Field. So you have Thursday to get used to that, get ready, have the workout.
Two strikes, 2 on, 2 outs. Rockies down a run in the 8th. And Torres strikes out Dahl to end the threat. So we'll go to the 9th inning. Milwaukee 4 and the Rockies 3.
A day to say goodbye to the 2016 season. It's Fan Appreciation Day here at Coors Field. We also want to appreciate all of our co-workers at Root Sports. It has sure been a fun season of broadcasting Rockies baseball. Jenny Cavnar and Corey Sullivan with you. We'll have the Toyota postgame show coming up right after baseball. A great chance for us to wrap up the incredible seasons that some of these guys have had, and hopefully one more AB for Nolan Arenado.
And then maybe I'll be right. He can't walk him off with an inside the park home run, but he can get the inside park home run to tie the ball game, which would be great.
Corey's pregame prediction: an inside the park walk-off home run from Nolan Arenado. Are we serious, Drew, Huey, and Spilly? Are we serious with that?
I don't know what the lineup of Bovada would be on that play.
Yeah, no, we're serious. I don't know what Corey draft this morning. Hey, listen, we'll take it, right?
We'll take it, yeah.
Hey, guys, we want to pass along. Great job all year. Great job for a number of years. Jenny, Corey, a lot of long hours, but you guys are the best, and it's fun to work with you. Our honor.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Well, thank
right
you.
back at you.
I hate goodbyes.
Hey, goodbyes.
Shh, just go.
Just go.
We'll see you for the post-game party.
There you go. Absolutely. Absolutely. And you two knuckleheads, thank you for making my job a lot easier. And, you know, it's a cliche to say that you spend more time in baseball with your baseball family this time of year than your actual family. And somewhat sadly, but truth be told, that is absolutely the case. And we're fortunate because we got a lot of great people, and it's wonderful to be with you guys.
I have the
regular
two
basis.
best work wives ever.
you've been staying up late at night trying to come up with that line, haven't you? You had it written down here somewhere.
Yeah,
right?
It's right there.
work wives.
Yeah. But it's been fun. I mean, yeah, it's been fun having you up here, kind of splitting it with
Yep.
me. It's been fun, and then of course this guy over
The
here.
knucklehead.
Yeah,
You had to
11
remind
years. 11 years, you and I together now.
It's-
Wow.
It's
It
been
only
awesome. I
feels
used, to
like
watch,
25.
I used to watch you play. And then I remember getting, the call. I heard that, that you were going to be joining us. And I'm like, I didn't remember the connection to Colorado. I had no idea. I remember watching you play, and I didn't know that you actually lived in Colorado.
21 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
And
good.
congrats again to your Cowboys yesterday.
Thank you.
For winning. But it's a blast. I mean, it's an absolute pleasure.
I love
And,
working with you guys and with Jenny and Corey and everybody in the truck. It feels great. You guys make it so much fun to come to work every day.
And our man Stout, who's roaming the ballpark, looking to scrounge up one more story before he bids everybody farewell. Where's Stouter? There he is.
Should we talk to Bo?
Do you want? I'm gonna come sit with Stout in about 2 minutes.
Oh, Billy's coming down. He's going to do some interviews, so that's why we wanted to say our
Thanks,
goodbyes
Huey.
right now.
Appreciate it, bud.
It's been fun, brother.
I mentioned Ringo, John Almering, who started the RF camera a couple of years ago, and I remember he said to me, I'm getting the hang of this baseball thing. It's more like a long story than a short story. And I said, yeah, John, it plays out. It takes a while inning by inning. He's actually been great. Look at this play by Nolan. So thank you, John. Good job this year.
Mark, what's the nuttiest story you feel like you've come up with in your tenure with the Rockies?
Oh, man. My entire tenure or this year? This year was, do you remember when I interviewed the woman that was 96 years old and I asked her who her favorite baseball players were? And she said, well, we always liked the big boppers, Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig. and it just hit me later after that she was serious. And then she said, but we like the Dean brothers, the Dizzy Dean and his brother. Yeah,
Hey.
that was interesting this year.
Mark, and that beautiful 96-year-old woman that you interviewed was like the third youngest of the trio
Yeah,
late in the season
I
that you
did.
got to interview.
Yeah, we also had a woman who celebrated her 100th birthday. And do you remember the couple that we interviewed from Idaho early in the year?
Absolutely, absolutely.
It was fairly random, but we thought it was good TV.
So you know what's neat? Chris Carter swings and misses. We have so many great fans, and because of the Rockies being the only team in the Mountain Time Zone, it stretches from New Mexico up into Idaho and Montana and through Wyoming and the Dakotas and obviously Colorado. Folks in Utah as well. So 1-2 on Carter, just missed.
I also want to say real quick, some thanks to the PR staff here, some of the best going. Jill Campbell, Warren Miller, Corey Little, Abby Thayer, Nick Parson. They help us do our job each and every night. So thank you to them as well.
Yeah, they are terrific. Absolutely terrific. And we work in concert with them each and every day. Chris Russin continues his great stretch of baseball. Rockies down a run. Look who's coming up in the bottom of the ninth.
some magic, and number 28 will lead off this inning. That'll be Nolan. But fans, if you're interested in season tickets or a mini plan for next season, call 303 Rockies today for information about a plan that is best for you, because you know this is going to happen. Spring training, and then the season's just right around the corner. I know we're talking about game 162 today, but come April 4th, you want to be part of that plan.
And next year, I think, promises to be a special season for the Rockies. It'll be their 25th on the field. Nolan has had a gorgeous year. And the Rockies all-star third baseman leading off with the Rockies trailing by a run, sitting on 41 home runs. Tyler Thornburg, there's the other guy with 41 home runs. Thornburg blew the save yesterday, ended up getting the win when Chris Carter hit his 41st in the 10th. He was still the pitcher of record. He's blown his last 2 save opportunities.
Instead, he got the win, and he's 7-5, but the Rockies hit him around pretty well.
0-2. On Nolan, and this is off the end of the bat. It'll be a base hit. Tying run aboard. Oh, 2 base hit for Arenado, and here comes Cargo.
He's going to remember he's 2 for his last 2. Is Nolan. Broke his bat. Now a chance for Cargo,
who has throughout his career had the penchant for the dramatic.
How fitting would it be for him to hit a walk-off home run?
Cargo today is 1 for 4. He singled back in the 3rd. Oh, 1. Rockies 3 runs, 12 hits. 4 runs, 8 hits for Milwaukee. Domingo Santana's 2-run home run off Carlos Estevez gave Milwaukee the lead in the 7th. Outside. Rockies tied the ball game yesterday at 3-3 in the 9th against Thornburg before falling in 10. Tom Murphy's on deck.
With Thornburg's arm action, the way he comes over the top, that's where he gets that big curveball from. Not off to the side, but over the top, and it's a 12-6. About 85 miles an hour. So he went to the changeup at 86.
And Cargo is out number 1 in the 9th inning. A couple updates on the National League playoff chase. St. Louis is doing what they needed to do. They're up 10-4 at home against Pittsburgh in the 8th. However, the Giants are up 7-1 in the 9th against the Dodgers. All they have to do is win, and they are in. They will take on the Mets in the wild card game.
That'll be the first time in Mike Matheny's 5-year career that he hasn't made the playoffs.
He's the only manager in history, as Murphy fouls his back, to make the playoffs in each of his first 4 years. One ball, 1 strike on Murphy. 1 for 3, doubled and scored in the 5th. He's also been hit by a pitch.
And he also doubled off Thornburg last night.
Got some big hits here in the month of September. Tying run at first. Bottom of the ninth, 4-3 Milwaukee. Kicks away, and Nolan in a scoring position. A wild pitch by Thornburg.
Dude, this one's so far out in front of Susac. And that hit hard and then hits off the chest of Susac.
Your technique can be perfect, but
right.
if it bounces that far out in front.
And as much spin and rotations on the baseball, it ended up 20 feet away.
And now the Rockies down to their final out. Jordan Patterson, who's been terrific the last 2 days. 3 hits last night, 2 hits today, including an RBI double. With the presumptive playoff teams this year, the Rockies have been very competitive, 37 and 39. Played particularly well against the NL East champs Washington and the team with the best record in baseball, Chicago. Went 8-4 against those 2 teams. Played well against Baltimore. They had leads in the 8th inning in all 4 games against Texas.
Yeah, those were late, 8th inning and beyond, and they ended up losing 3 or 4 there.
It is now a final. The Giants have defeated the Dodgers 7-1. And the Giants are going back to the postseason despite a very difficult second half. Patterson lines into right center. This will tie up the game. Here comes Nolan. Jordan Patterson on the throw, moving to second. Into center field. He's heading to third. Ball still loose. Jordan Patterson.
Well, the never say die attitude. Jordan Patterson coming through with the ball off the end of the bat into right field, and then with the throw coming in, you'll see the changeup working down and away off the end of the bat, and then the ball's coming in, and Carter doesn't cut it off. He lets it go, and so Jordan just keeps going, and then the throw into second, which shouldn't have happened, it gets by, and now Jordan's at third base, and he's just one wild pitch away from trotting home.
Here's Steven Cardullo to hit for Valaika, and he got a pitch. Found it straight back. So the way you score that, single obviously. Patterson moved up on the throw to the plate and then to third on the throwing error by the catcher Susac. Cardullo can win it here. Ground ball is short. Marcy has got it, and for the second straight day, the Rockies and Brewers will go extra innings. 4-4, Jordan Patterson, what a clutch single. presented by Jack Link's Beef Jerky all season long. Jack Link's, feed your wild side. So game 162, 9 innings not enough as the Rockies rally again in the ninth as they did last night, but they're looking for a different outcome this afternoon. Couple changes. Cargo has come out. His season is complete. Steven Cardullo is in right field, and with Pat Valaika being pinch hit for, Rockies needed a second baseman. Tony Walters is at second. Second inning of work for Chris Russin. He misses ball one on Domingo Santana. Santana in the eighth inning, a 2-run home run to give the Brewers a 4-3 lead at that point. Outside again. Oh, it's caught. It's caught the outside corner, so it's 1 ball, 1 strike.
Did catch the edge of the Subaru strike zone.
Good call by Scott Barry. Santana pops it up. Backpedaling is Christian Adames. That'll bring up Hernan Perez.
There's 5 games still going on besides ours. Everybody else is finished.
Ball, 1 strike. Hey, you know, we didn't look at this group of pitchers for the National League Cy Young, the candidates. Here's the 1-1. Bouncer up the middle. Here's Walters on the move. Nice play by Tony. Out at first base. Ball will always find you, right?
Yes, it will. I think they'll still even wait till the end to take a look at this. Perez with the chopper. Tony on the other side of second base. So give us a much better look when we slow it down on the Subaru Supermo. Ball in the glove.
He's out.
Hand not to the bag yet. He's out. Yep. What a play, Tony.
Orlando Arcia with 2 outs. Here's the group of candidates for the National League Cy Young. John Lester, who's had an unbelievable August. September. He's 5-0 in September. Max Scherzer went today. Kenley Jansen, 47 saves. Johnny Cueto, 18 wins for the Giants. Kyle Hendricks, who's going to win an ERA title under 2. Who do you like, Huey?
Well, I'm going to go with Hendricks because of that. I mean, pitching in Chicago, I take away the record a little bit, but 1.99 ERA for a guy that throws 89 to 91 miles an hour. So to me, he gets the Cy Young.
This may be one of the closer votes that we'll see. And just like the MVP, Rizzo's going to get some votes. Obviously, plenty of votes for Chris Bryant. I think Bryant's going to end up winning it easily, but Lester and Hendricks, same club. Scherzer's had a great year, ton of strikeouts. Wasn't quite as sharp today.
I think, as you're saying, you can make a case for any one of those 5, and you're not going to be wrong.
I'm going to go with Lester.
Other than you're wrong with that choice. But
yeah, you know what though? To your point, it's hard to. It's hard not to vote for a guy with a 1.99, right?
That's why I picked him.
You know, the American League's not easy either. Here's the 3-2. Back up the middle. That ricochets off of Chris. And Arcia is digging for second, and he is safe. Walters whipped that tag on. Let's see if that one is worthy of a review.
And I know you're taught now to continue to apply that tag, but the way Tony had to make that tag, it's hard to keep it on because he's spinning like a top. The ricochet off the foot of Chris Russ, and Nolan still busting it out there, and then the throw in from David Dahl. But watch how you kind of have to spin around and he kept going. We'll look at this, because does he come off right with the tag still? Looks like his foot is on, and then he comes off, but the tag is not reapplied.
Yeah, I think he beat the throw, and he never came off while the tag was still being applied.
Yeah. His foot's on the bag, and then the tag's applied, but he does come off. But Tony, as I mentioned, is trying to make the tag, and then he spins out of there. It's hard to keep the tag going and keep it on the leg. This one will be confirmed.
So it's a double for Arcia, and that'll bring up Susac, who's 0 for 4. Chris Russ in second inning of work. Chris made a big statement. Made a statement last year, a couple complete games, but really the second half this year when he got healthy.
And what he's done out of the bullpen, if it's asked to pitch 3 innings or come in and get 2 outs, pitch 2 innings, I think he's shown that.
Well, you know, he went from a long haul guy, spot starter, to now where Walt was using him in high leverage situations in the 7th inning.
Because he couldn't keep going to Boone all the time. I mean, Boone did his thing and did it very well this year. For Chris, he's starting to get some of those, and then you're looking forward to next year.
Well, Boone's a free agent, so there's no guarantee that he'll come back. The Rockies are going to need at least 1 left-hander, if not 2. His splits are pretty even. 258 against lefties, 259 against righties. This ball's well hit to left field. Wow. Susac has just hit a 2-run home run. Chris Carter hit a home run in the 10th last night, and now Andrew Susac hits his first of the year and has his first 2 RBIs of the year with a line shot to left. 6-4 Milwaukee.
And with 2 outs, the Brewers prior to that swing were 4 for 31 with runners in scoring position. And then Susac with a little toe tap. Coming over from San Francisco, looked like a Buster Posey swing, just the way they match up and the mechanics of it.
Jake Elmore takes a strike. And the only difference was Chris Carter's was a solo shot with 2 outs. Susac's a 2-run shot. Ground ball toward Walters. Outfield grass out at first base. 2 terrific plays in the inning by Tony Walters, showing his versatility. But a 2-run home run by Andrew Susac, and the Rockies are down 6-4 as we go to the bottom of the 10th in game 1-6-2. 2-run home run by Andrew Susac. In the bottom of the 10th inning, Corey Knebel's going to take over. The Rockies have Christian Adames. It looks like Daniel Descalso, and then Charlie Blackmon. And they're facing a guy they scored 2 runs off of yesterday in Knebel.
Got 3 hits given up by Knebel. We got triple, single, another single with 2 outs, RBI. Knebel has 1 major league save in his career, and that came against the Rockies back on August 23rd.
The first pitch is in there for a strike. Adames 0 for 3 and a walk. Side. One out.
Daniel Descalso pinch hit, hitting .360 with 2 home runs and 5 RBIs as a pinch hitter this year. Nine for 25.
Daniel signed a 2-year deal when he came from St. Louis. Very good year this year. Started a little later after he had broken his hand in spring training. You mentioned the great numbers off the bench as a pinch hitter. Did a good job as a starter also.
And the power numbers,
yeah,
for Daniel.
Career high in home runs.
Triple, baby.
'Cargo, can I have your cleats after the game? She's got them.
There you go.
And nobody will question because whose they were, because I don't know how many cleats are out there that says Cargo on them.
Batting gloves too. So batting gloves up in the stands.
Two and two. The Rockies are down to their last out. Charlie Blackmon is coming up. Charlie has had a perfect day, literally. Home run is 29. RBI double, another double, a walk, and then a single. Charlie at 324. He started the day 5th in the National League in hitting. I think he's moved back into the 4th spot. Big swing. 0-1.
Charlie started the Rockies season off way back in Arizona, back on April 4th.
That's off the plate. Yeah, Segura went 0 for 3 today, so he's finished at 319. Do we have an injury?
Maybe. Something at the end of the delivery. He's kind of shaking his foot out. It's an ankle or a knee. Says he's good though, just threw one pitch. Didn't see much there, just other than kind of shook his foot. The trainer ran out. He threw one pitch to the catcher, said, "I'm good to go."
So 1-1 on Charlie, trying to keep it alive. Rockies down 6-4 in the 10th. Two and one. Two and two.
Charlie still grinding to the end.
The way he knows how to go. Charlie's going to finish 4th in the league in hitting behind DJ, his close friend, Daniel Murphy, and Joey Votto. 2-2. And one of the things Charlie's concerned about, by the way, in the offseason is his workout buddy, DJ LeMahieu. And he's very particular about who he hits with and who he works out with. DJ is going to be in Michigan because he and his wife, Jordan, building a house that's going to be done in November. Moved out of the Atlanta area.
Maybe they'll just fly him down every so often just to work him out.
Charlie may do that now.
Congratulations again, DJ, on the National League batting championship.
How about that? Awesome.
Tip of the cap.
Two-two. Foul tip. It's held. And the Brewers win game 162, 6-4. They take the season series 5-1. The final record in 2016 for the Rockies, 75-87. Still their most wins since 2010 when they went 83-79. The Brewers avoid 90 losses. They finish at 73-89. Thornburg gets another blown save and another victory. Had each of those victories after blown saves the last 2 nights. Russin takes the loss. Chris 3-5. Knable gets his 2nd ever save. Rockies will be hugging it up in the dugout, and then they'll show their appreciation as they always do. Final home game of the year. They'll make their way around the ballpark and visit with fans before taking it to the clubhouse. Our Jimmy John's delivery of the game. Although he made an out finally in his last at bat. Charlie Blackmon hit home run number 29 to begin the day. He threw out a couple of doubles and a single, also a walk. His 3rd 4-hit ball game of the year. Charlie Blackmon, our Jimmy John's delivery of the game. So the Rockies made a lot of progress this year, especially on the mound. There'll be great anticipation and optimism when the Rockies gather spring training 2017. Partner, you're the best. Look forward to
right back at you.
Yeah, look forward to late February when we get together in Scottsdale.
Yeah, a lot of optimism. I hope as you head to spring training 2017. And again, thank you. Thank your fans at home for watching and supporting us. And it's been a pleasure to bring these games to you.
Absolutely. Well put. And with that, we go to center field. Jenny and Corey to put an exclamation point and a period on this season. Guys, all yours.
All right, Drew, thanks so much. Game 162 in the books, but we're not done yet. Time to say goodbye to the fans and a big fan appreciation from all the players. We'll wrap up the 2016 season next on the Toyota Postgame Show.